right. Okay, so we are live now. Greetings, everyone. Today we have an amazing presentation that we're going to show you. I have two great guests on here. I have Shango, who has been on here on our channel before, and I also have Drake here as well, who is going to explain language. He was on here one time. We were having a lot of connection issues, but today he has a whole presentation to show us in regards to the language that we have been speaking and writing and reading since we were born.
And also, I want to state that in this journey of awakening and ascension, I've learned more from this gentleman by the name of Drake than anybody else. So, just what, just speaking with him over the past couple of months, I've learned more about things that I couldn't imagine by just talking to this gentleman. He is not a professor. He's just a person who is tapped in and he has a gift. And I want to state that I believe that the gift that Drake possesses is the key for humanity, the entire key, the foundation of everything. I believe that what he's sharing is so important that it literally can fix every single issue that we're dealing with. That I believe is that important. Not to put a bunch of pressure on you, Drake, but the information that you have at your fingertips that you deal with so easily and so eloquently, I think is the most important thing in the world. Nothing is more important than what you're sharing. And for those who aren't familiar with Drake, you don't know him because he doesn't talk to anyone and he doesn't speak publicly and so forth. So have patience as we're moving along. But the message that he has to show, I believe, is the most important message to all humanity. I'm stating that even with all the crazy things that me and Ariel are doing and we're trying to do and we're succeeding in, nothing is more important than this message that Drake is showing you guys today. And without further ado, introducing my good friend Drake. Go ahead, brother.
Oh. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for this time. I'm going to explain these languages and language format. My journey began when I was reading the Bible. So as I was reading the Bible, I noticed it was capitalized letters in the Bible. It's a lot of Lord God. So I asked everyone throughout the years, what does it mean? So I got to get, I got to, I received a different explanation from everyone. So it wasn't until I start my journey into the language internationally in law, like how they depict the language, how it need to be written. And I found out some very disturbing things about the language that we see every day, that everyone see every day, that they may think is depicted in English, but it's actually not. So I'm going to focus on the English language and the orthography of the language, how it's written, not the sound, but the written format. Now, you can see my screen, the orthography of English. English has been written in the Latin alphabet, also called Roman alphabet. Early English texts in Anglo-Saxon runes are only short inscripts. The majority of literary works in Old English that survive to today are written in the Roman alphabet. The modern English alphabet contains 26 letters of the Latin script, and you see the characters. Now remember, the modern English alphabet contains 26 letters of the Latin script. So from this alone, you see no numbers because the numbers is Arabic. I'll get to that later. English is case sensitive. Now, the way English is written, I know they here. 1 second. Right here. Right here. English word order has moved from the Germanic verb second V2 word order to being most exclusively subject verb object. It's subject verb object punctuation. Punctuation is very important. All written languages have punctuation. The combination of subject verb order and use of auxiliary verbs often creates clusters of two or more verbs at the center of the sentence, such as he hoped to try to open. Now, you see right here, this is what I hate. The dog bites the man, but there's no punctuation. Now, why you not going to put no punctuation there? Subject is the dog. Verb is bites. Object, the man. But there's no punctuation. Now, when you look at the sentence, basic constitutes structure analysis of a sentence. Now, this is a sentence. Now, you look at the format. Article or determiner. Noun is the cat. Verb. See, sat is a verb. It's an action. Preposition, on. Another article. Now. Anytime you read it, you should always look for the article, noun, and the verb, especially the verb. English requires a verb. So even syntax, it needs a noun and a verb. No verb, no English. Simple as that. The cat sat on the mat. You see the format. You notice it's not in all capitalized letters because you can't write English in all caps. That's a totally different language. Now, let me see. 1 second.
So when we see that the cat is on the mat and we're looking at that and we're thinking it's English, what is it that we're actually looking at?
This right here is a English sentence. The cat sat on the mat because you see how it's formatted. You see the capital letter T. The T is stressed, then it come down low. It's a balance. It's all about speaking. It's stressed and non-stressed. You never want to have something all stressed because there's no balance. Like God is balanced when they speak about Mayat is all balance, but it's balanced with the speaking. But the speaking is the writing.
So the T is considered the stress.
Yes.
And it goes into lower cases to balance
Right.
off the stress.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You can't have all this in capital letters because you can't speak it. Like if you say duh right now, you're saying duh. It's going up and it's coming down. Up, down. It's a wave. Duh. You coming? Duh. Cat sat on the mat. Or if it was a proper noun, if I say the cat, duh, cat sat on the mat is named Chris. You see that Chris shooting right back up because it's a proper verb, a proper noun. Excuse me. It shoots back up. You stress the C, but then you come back down. That's why the nouns is name, person, and things, and it's capital. Only the first letter. If the second or more letters is capital, is no longer English, and it take on the form of a different language. Let me see.
So you're saying, so basically, it's the capitalization of the noun is to put a stronger emphasis on the word when we speak it.
Exactly. That's all. Not all stressed. This right here is American Sign Language, ASL. Now, this is the language everyone is reading and they interpret it as English, and you can't do that. Now, as you can see, the language family of American Sign Language is French-based, possible Creole, with Martha's Vineyard Sign Language, Projectile, varies of American Sign Language, Sign Writing, Sign Notion. But it's the format that we're going to examine just the format. Now, this right here is American Sign Language. Now, this is the syntax. Now, as you see, it's subject, verb, object, just like English. But the only difference is you can see that it's in all caps.
Is it possible for you to enlarge in the font on your end?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
1 sec.
Okay, that's better. Thank you.
Look, subject, verb, object, just like English, but it's formatted differently. You see, in English, they got the father loves the child. In American Sign Language and French, father loves child.
Right.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's the format. Because people see caps all their life. They never really seen the English. They see caps and they translate it into English. Right here, father loves child. The father loves the child. It's the difference. And this right here is not even formatted properly even. Now the problem with this, see right here, they're gonna say right, the common misconceptions are that the signs is iconically self-explanatory, that R has transparent imitations of what they mean. You're right. You see that?
Yeah.
But they say common misconception. No, that's a lie. They lied. This right here is a lie. Not only that, or what they mean, or even that they are yeah, it is pantomime. It is it's definitely pantomime. Pantomime is the clown language. Like clowns, when they be doing all that mime, they don't say nothing. It's just actions. Because it says nothing. Because no rules abide. It follow no rules. It can say whatever whatever I can says it says. You know. So when you read something, it shouldn't be no confusion. You know.
Right.
But when people read and they come to their own conclusions of what it says, but they actually don't say that. In fact, many signs bear no resemblance to the referral because they were originally arbitrary symbols and their iconicity has been obscured over time. Now, this is another thing that they trying to debunk right here. It's this onomatopoeia. It means that it sounds the same.
Right.
It sounds similar, but it's not English. Like you hear what you're hearing is onomatopoeia, but you're not actually hearing English. It's the difference.
Like buzz.
Like if you if I say, I'm trying to give an example here.
Like buzz or ding dong.
Yeah, but it's not. Oh, okay, no, exactly. Or you know when a parrot speak, a parrot can't speak English.
Correct.
That's onomatopoeia. It sounds like English, but it's not. It's just like a computer. A computer don't speak English. That's onomatopoeia. Phones, nah, it's not. It sounds like, I know it sounds like English, but it's not.
Give me a better explanation for it's I understand, but it's we've been talking for a while, so I get it more.
Yeah, onomatopoeia or racial echonism is a type of word or the process of creating a word phonetically imitating the sound.
Right.
And the reason why I'm comparing it to a parrot, because the parrot could say Polly want a cracker and it sounds like English, but it's not.
So what is it? What is the parrot saying? If he's saying, we're hearing Polly want a cracker from the parrot,
right,
and we recognize it from what he's saying, but the reason why it's not English is because of what?
First of all, it's an animal. What animal can speak English? No animal can speak English.
Okay.
No, this is fact. No animal can speak English at all. This is rude. That's why when you notice they identify people as animals, because you can't.
You know what's funny because while we're down here in Mexico, when I'm trying to communicate with the animals, the dogs or the cats, to tell them like go or come or something like that, I found myself trying to figure out what the Spanish word is for it because these dogs and cats ain't bilingual. They don't know what the hell I'm saying. So I have to say it to them in Spanish because that's what they're used to hearing.
It's tones.
Mm, right. Tones. There you
Tones.
go.
Yeah.
But remember, the words that imitates the sounds thus be said to be onomatopoeic. You know,
Right.
it's an imitation. Think of an imitation. If I, oh man,
So it's like AI.
exactly. AI is a lot. I'm gonna give an example. Um, I'm trying to give a better example
Hmm.
of this,
So
but
I was in school. Onomatopoeia was words that sound like they spelled out to sound like what it sound like buzz, bell. We put dong or horn. We put honk. You know, that's what we was taught in school. That it sounds like the word like a cat.
Oh, like
A
what?
cat meows. You know, the cat speaking. We say meow,
Yeah.
but that's the best. So that's onomatopoeia, the sound,
Right.
how it sounds,
Exactly.
to write how something sounds.
right, like in comic books, they could be like boom, pack, like them Batman comic books,
Right,
bang.
right.
Uh, That's onomatopoeic. Or if anyone that's speaking like what as we speak, it sounds like English, but it's not. But so I'm assuming that we've been doing it for so long, it's almost identical. You know, it's sort of like a deception. Like, oh man, he's speaking English, but he actually not speaking English.
So what?
And
It's just like it's like a recording processor or something.
Let me,
it's
because
imitation.
what you're doing is you're actually mimicking the
It's
sound.
mimic. Yeah.
Let, let me hold on. Let me I'm gonna stop sharing. I want to share something else.
Okay.
And we've been doing it for so long that it's just accepted.
Right. Yeah, just accept it. Let, let me bring this up. Hold up. Let me see.
And then yesterday we had a discussion about the punctuations and what they actually mean and so forth. And we're gonna round this back off. This is going to go tie back into the Bible. Just FYI for those who are following, this is going to tie back into the Bible. So if you are a believer of the Bible, the Quran, whichever book you're a believer in, the way that the information is structured means something completely different than what you're reading because the punctuations that are being used mean something completely different. So this is all going to tie in. Be a little patient with us, but it's all going to tie in, and it would change your understanding if you are a believer in any of these things, because we're reading them and it's saying something completely different than what it's saying something completely different than what we're reading, and it's more than one person talking in most of the cases. So we're reading the Bible verse and we're reading the sentence, and what the Bible is trying to explain, what the words are actually saying, is that something contrary to what we're reading. In addition to that, there's more than one speaker talking, but it may be one verse, but it's not just one person speaking. So it's very very heavy, and it's foundational because we are putting spells on ourselves using something that we've been taught, but what we've been taught is improper, and the things that they didn't tell us, and how they're hiding everything in the language, and this is what we're trying to show you.
Now, this book right here is the Chicago's Manual of Styles. Did y'all see that?
Yep. The
Okay.
book.
Yes. The Chicago Manual of Styles. It's a law book. American Sign Language. The visual gesture and tactile languages used by deaf and blind people in different parts of the world.
Drake, can you make it a little larger on your end?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure can.
Okay, yes, that's better. Yes. Yeah.
The visual gesture and tactile languages used by deaf and blind people in different parts of the world are called sign languages. Now, you probably ask yourself, what's the visual gesture and tactile languages? If you look at the McDonald's signs, it's not depicted in the English language. It's a visual gesture. It's a tactile languages. How do you know it's tactile? Because you can see how it's embossed, like braille. It's actually braille that's up there that's being shown off. Now, in all parts of the world, there's nothing but sign language because no one actually used the language how it's supposed to be used or how it's supposed to be written.
Like the stop sign.
Exactly. Exactly. You see this, it say stopping is in all caps. Now, what people don't realize, you're using the language and you don't know that the language that you've been using all your life and your family been using all their life says you deaf and blind. That's why they pay you no attention. You could go out there and march, protest, or whatever, but your language said you're blind, deaf, and dumb. The language alone says that. Basketball games, look at the language. What does it says?
So what? So when people are going in these protests with their signs and stuff like that, what is actually happening?
The government just want to make sure that the people still control, that they don't wake up to the language. Because once you start waking up to the language, you will know how to write the language properly and make it mean something, make it say something. But it doesn't say anything.
So,
But
so tell me how it will be written for us to say, um, uh, the people of America don't want to be governed by, the corrupt government in place now. How would we actually say something like that?
what you just said, if you was writing it down, just write it down in English. Make sure that the caps is uh, properly, the punctuation in place. Because you can read it, then you can read over it. But it always English always require punctuation, but you can't write in all caps at all.
Hmm.
You just can't do that. You just can't. It's another language.
So I was always told that all caps meant that it was dead.
Well, you can see how they look at it legally. Yeah, it's big because you're blind.
Hmm.
It doesn't follow the rules. If someone was let's just take a man that was legally blind and deaf, right? And he written a paper on the computer, English properly, they would say he speak beautiful English by his formatting. He can't see or hear,
Right.
but he know how it's supposed to be formatted. You see what I'm saying? So even if you blind and deaf, the way you write determine how you speak.
So is it mainly the capitalization that's the problem, or is it that
No,
is it also the punctuation? Like, what is how would one figure out how to properly write English?
they never taught in the schools because even if you look at the building, you can look at the 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 embossed letters on the outside. That's called
Mhm.
finger spelling. Let me show you right here. Hope you can see this. Right here, they call it glosses. The reason why
Okay.
glosses because you could write. You notice somebody has something written down and someone still got to explain it to you. Why? Because it's not fully written. Glosses,
Right.
yeah, they don't write everything down. They write down something, you got to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, it's like a logo, or whatchamacallit. Gosh, I can't think. Acronym.
There you go. There you go. Eh,
So go ahead, Drake.
What I was going to say, even the acronyms, you write it, um, it need to be depicted like this.
Oh,
Frankenspelling.
so
Frankenspelling for proper nouns, in other words, borrowed from the spoken language. The signer may fingerspell the word using the hand shapes from a manual alphabet. There are numerous fingerspelling alphabets used by different sign languages, among them the American manual alphabet. You know how deaf people be using their hands
right,
fingerspelling, right? So
right.
when you write something all big, it's fingerspelling.
Hmm.
Fingerspell words may be transcribed in any of the following ways. Now, this is legally. Now, this is very important also, how this is formatted. Because you notice they got FF. If you can see this, it's lowercase.
Okay,
It's lowercase hyphen.
okay,
Then it's capital. The reason why this is lowercase because you need a balance with the stress and non-stress.
okay.
Then said or, then you got the the hyphen to keep order. Because if you put John all together, it's like
Yellow.
John what?
And it's screaming, right, too, right?
Exactly. Now this right here is J, a break. O, break. H, a break. N, John. But if you put it all together, it's like, what are you doing? When if there was no hyphen in between it, instead of me spelling out John, I would say oh, because my mouth is always open because it's stress. Your mouth not closing. When you look at them letters,
Sure.
combined is stressed. You're screaming.
So you need these breaks in between each letter.
That's right.
So this is different than syllables.
Syllables, you also need breaks.
Hmm.
If you look at the ancient language, it'd be like how they transcribe it. It'd be like SA hyphen, then it'd be like two more letters, then they put another hyphen. Let me explain this hyphen. This is
Yeah,
very
yeah, because the hyphen is interesting because like how people hyphenate their names and stuff like that. Like what does that
right,
actually happen?
right. Like even with Rome, they use a middle dot. Like they write something in the middle dot because the hyphen in the middle dot represents breath. If you being though it's finger spelling, if you take your hand, you close your hands, there's no space in it, there's no breath in it. Like when you look at the stop sign. But if you open your hand, you see the V in between.
Right.
That's the breath and that's the spirit in between it. So that's the space. The reason why, let me show you something about the, hold on, let me see something. Okay. This right here is air symbols. Can you see this?
Yeah, we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Now this is a port. And now you see all the symbols and you notice the line that separated. This the same air symbol that's on the back of the dollar bill. You see the fire symbol, you see the water symbol, you see the earth, you see the air. Now, if you in space, there's no sound. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no air. There's no medium to carry the sound.
Right.
Down here we got air. So when you write that word, let me go back. Dang, what the fuck? I'm trying to find. Where the hell? Let me see something. Hold on, let me bring it back up.
Take your time. Take your time. I know yesterday, me and you, me and you were discussing the colon, um, and how we're being tricked with that colon, and what's really going on when we're using that colon.
Hold on, let me.
It's a in the what they're doing. It is such a they change everything in such a subtle way that, um, to my knowledge, no one has picked up on the tricks in the language. And because we're being tricked with our own language, um, we are casting spells on ourselves with the words we're saying. We think they mean one thing, but they actually mean something completely different. And and by reinforcing these words that we were taught that we thought that meant one thing, we're inadvertently putting a spell on ourselves. For example,
Yeah, for example, colon that's in your body, and then you got kernel that looks like colon, and then you have the colon as the punctuation. It's so much confusion.
but
Why?
but with the colon means that another speaker is present. So if you're using a colon in your sentences and in your writing, what it actually means is a statement is being made by one party, and then once the colon appears, the words on the other side of that statement means another speaker is talking, and that is dangerous. Especially the fact that these people out here base their lives on the Quran, the Kabbalah, the Bible, all these things. Need to understand that, hey, once you see this colon here, this is no longer one speaker. This is another speaker talking. And Christopher Columbus, um, his you get Drake.
Yes,
Columbus is the colon, right? Christopher Columbus is the colon, right?
yes. They name his name after that, but the reason why they name his name after that is what he was doing to the natives. The, um,
So what
the,
was he
col-
doing for the natives?
the colon also represents a roasting stick, meaning the two holes represents your mouth and your anal cavity, the two orifice on your body, just like a chicken. Like if you put the chicken on the stick, it go through the
To the mouth,
head,
yeah,
yeah,
and the
through the
ass.
anal cavity, yeah, right,
Because Christopher Columbus was eating people.
yeah, cannibalism.
Yeah, so it's like we look at that colon and people aren't understanding what that colon is saying, and um, it's vitally important when we're looking at these books. It's in particular when we're looking at the Bible, we're looking at a military operation. The entire Bible is written all in military code, and they're presenting stories, but what they're really talking about is war. The whole thing is based on war. It's a military document which we're looking at, but because it's formatted in a particular way, where we're reading and not understanding what these different things mean, we're missing the true story behind what they're truly saying. Go ahead, Drake. I see you got your thing up.
Okay, let me go back to the symbol. Now this the air symbol. I just want to show you because if you write all capitalized letters, there's no period. But the period also represents oxygen and blood, breath, rest. It goes from the beginning to the end. At the end is death. And what happens after death? There's rebirth. And then you start back off with a capitalized letter. But you always end with the period or a punctuation. Then you restart. So as I'm showing you right here, if you look at the symbol for air, This is what the hyphen represents in between the air, because in space is a vacuum. There's no sound, nothing moving it.
Mhm.
So if you write it with no period, no hyphen, nothing is moving it. It's dead.
So it's considered a dead language because we remove the breathing. We remove the life from the language because we remove the breath from the language. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. And it's all about the breath. Everything's about the breath. The whole Bible is about the breath. If you let me see. Um, now th- I'm trying to see. This is glosses and ASL. Now this is very important. When two or more written words are used to gloss a single sign, the glosses are separated by hyphens. The translation is enclosed in double quotation marks. The sign for a car drove by, this is how it would be written in an English sentence. It's written vehicle drive by. But you notice the hyphen and the punctuation. That's breath. If this hyphen wasn't there, it mean nothing. It's dead. No air in it. And this goes back to the Bible when it said two or more. I'm trying to get that verse when God said, when two or more are together, I am present. You're absolutely right.
So okay. So I was just thinking the it's like music in the notes in the music, and you got the half notes and the whole notes. It lets you know how long you're supposed to hold that particular tone in music, and that's how we read music, and that's how we write music. So you know how long to hold the note. And in speaking, we don't have we're missing the pieces that tells us how to properly say what we want to say in our speech.
Right.
Remember music, music.
Also, right here, this is very important too. One obvious limitation of the use of glosses from the spoken written language to represent signs. It's all signs. All you see is signs all around you. Everywhere you go is signs. There is no English. Is that there is not always a one-to-one correspondence between the words or signs in any two languages. What they're saying is, if I write um, hamburger
Mm-hmm.
in all caps, and you can't write English in all caps. Say I have hamburger in the sentence that's lowercase, then that's what it means. Now, if I got hamburger in the sentence in all caps, it doesn't mean the same thing. I
And
would like,
you were referring to Matthew 18, verses 19 and 20 of the Bible, by the way. Oh, which come right down.
now, let me give you an example of something.
Like you was talking about you was explaining to me about how the Bible is a military document, and when they're talking about it rained for like the flood, it's all a military operation. And you were explaining to me how when the Israelites were in were in the desert, which blew my mind. I've been trying to figure this out for years, and they were asked, and Moses wasn't allowed to enter the promised land
Right.
because he was told to talk to the stone and it would give him water. Please get into that please get into that because that answered a whole bunch of questions about what took place, and it kind of shows the uh, foundational part of what we're discussing. That this what's going on now has always been taking place. None of this stuff is new, and it's all been a military operation the entire time.
Yes, it have. And I got it. Let me see. Hold up. Hold up. I got to show you what the DOD is actually doing. Let me see something. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, the DOD. Now, this is very important. The DOD Dictionary of Military and Associated Terms. Department of Defense. Now, I'm just going to scroll down to your DOD, their definitions.
We still on the same book. Is it another book?
Yeah. This right here is another book.
I don't
This
see
is
this one.
you don't see this one? Oh man. All right. My bad.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you can make it a little bigger too. Perfect. Perfect.
This is the Department of Defense. Their definitions. And I just want to show you one in particular. Uh, right here. The Department of Defense. Display. In military deception, a static portrayal of an activity, force, or equipment intended to deceive the adversary. Visual observation. So, if the Department of Defense definition for display is to deceive the enemy, who are they deceiving? They're deceiving the minds of the people. This
Wow.
ain't. They doing it on you.
Right.
Look, this is their definition for it right here. And this right here, once you get into this, oh man, this is
Let's
unbelievable.
let's ride with this for a minute because I really would love to tie this in to explain to help break down that whole book that people are basing their life on is an entire military operation and it always has been. Let's stay with this military stuff for a minute, and I'll ask you questions in between, But let's stay on this for a minute because this is important.
And this right here is very important to me because everything everyone looking at, they just being deceived by the language. They just reading it wrong.
So when we say display, when a normal person, a normal layman is just talking about, we show the display, we're thinking that we're just giving a person an image of something or displaying it. We thought displaying was just saying, okay, here you go, take a look, and we show it. But their definition of it is to deceive. So we're using the word. We think it means one thing, but because that's what we've been taught, but the actual definition for it is something completely different.
Yeah. And this is the Department of Defense definition. I'd rather use their definitions over anyone's.
Yeah, you better.
You know, like I'm not using I'm using their definition. And they're using it on the people. But also when you look at it, because they never tell you everything. Now, if you look at this definition for display, make a prominent exhibition, something in a place where it can be easily seen. That's everything. All the big letters all over the place. They just there to deceive you, make you feel, warm, welcome, and appreciated. But it's actually nothing but that when you get into the language. So, and you can find this information, Department of Defense Dictionary of military and associated terms.
So tie this in with the Bible. Any particular part of it that was a military operation?
The whole book. They knew the people couldn't read. They gave it to the people, make them believe that they can read. They knew that they can't read. The same language of the Bible is the same language that exists today. It's the same format, everything. It's how you perceive it. It's like if I write, it's all sign language. If you look at the Queen of England, they come in with all these medals and signs. Nobody can tell you what they actually mean except for them. Nobody can. You can guess, you can assume, but you will never know what they actually mean. And when they come in with these different colors, you don't actually know what these colors actually mean because they look at it through a different scale. They could use gray scale, red scale. You don't know how to interpret it because you actually, it's like the way the actual language is in their world is not spoken or heard. It's just a sign. So if I speak it, there's no way possible everyone could get every little detail of that image. Like, let me show you this.
Basically, it sounds like to me that it's just like a shopping window display, like a mall window display. That's basically just trying to make you think that what they showing you in this window is real. It's real reality when it's just some fake It's like a fake part of a simulation. They want you to believe it's real.
That's all. And what's actually happening is horrible. But you can't speak it though. The problem is by speaking it, someone gonna leave something out.
But just think about it. Nothing that they're getting us to nothing that they're getting us to buy or want. They have to say. All they do is throw glitter on it and that's it.
That's it. Now see, do you see this? The first book of Moses, this paper I got up now called Genesis. I got the period. Now this is what I'm going to focus on, and this is where they had completely ruined the books. The KJV, this right here, it says in the beginning. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
You see?
Yeah, we see.
Now look at this symbol in the beginning, right? But look at this icon. Describe it.
It's a humongous eye.
Oh, okay. What else is there though in that image?
It's like greenery, like
pine cones,
leaves or something.
Flowers.
Exactly.
It looks like fennel almost.
What kind of flowers do you know?
It looks
like vines.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see what I'm saying? See, both of y'all expressing what y'all saying in the words, but how you know for sure what it actually is though? Like, do you think you could actually write down everything on paper that's in this description or speak it?
Right. Exactly. You can't. It's impossible.
Thank you. So when people say in the beginning, it actually don't even say that. It's an eye. If you don't know that symbol, how are you going to continue reading it? You can't. Right. You don't know what that symbol means. And they took them out the books. If you don't know that symbol, how are you going to read it? You can't speak that symbol or write it down because whatever I say, I'm not going to get it 100% accurate. I only could guess because it's not intended for me.
Yeah, because we just thinking that it's just the illustration, but it's there for a reason.
Exactly. Exactly. It's called a illuminated initial, historical initial. But you see the picture.
Right.
Like, it's impossible for anyone to get it. So, when people read the book, they say in the beginning, but nobody ain't bringing up the picture. This picture is the most important thing.
Right.
But nobody, that's what I'm saying. When you see this image, there's no way you could describe this picture to 100%. You can't.
I'm about to say, do you know what that image means?
I only could guess, just like everyone else. Because if I say I do, I'll be lying.
The only people who know it is the author.
That's it. Whoever it's intended for. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You will never get this picture. Even it's displaying plants, it could represent I don't know,
The
the
growth.
the universe. It can represent anything.
They can represent the wilderness.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I see the infinity sign all through there. It's a couple of them in there.
But it's just a guess.
Yeah, just a guess. So people don't know that sign, but they just say in the beginning. But what that picture represent? Nobody can describe it because you can't speak it.
Right.
You can't speak it at all. I mean, you can speak it, but you
It's not
speak.
what.
Yeah, it's not going to be right. Think about it. It's not going to be right. You know what I'm saying? If I say what color is this plant supposed to be or whatever, that's why it's depicted the way it's depicted. And you see these icons all through the Bible.
Can you show us
Yeah.
another one? You got
Yeah.
another one?
Yes.
Oh, what's that?
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What book did we do? I want to do. Let me see.
I'm
Dang.
just trying to see if there's any commonalities, if there's a pattern. It's got to be a pattern.
Oh, here's another one.
Oh, that A.
Yes, big.
Now, you see the format. Boom, boom. You see the period. You see the period.
You got enlarging it.
Right. Gotcha. Now this is the book of Matthew. Now you see this symbol right here?
Click on it because it's
Let me see. Hold on. Let me scroll it out. Let me scroll it out first so you can see it. You see it?
No, it's still
still
small.
same. So the same.
Let me see. Oh, no, I messed up. All right. What about now?
Yep, just enlarging it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I messed up. Now this is the book of Matthew.
Okay. Okay, so the fact that this says it's the Gospel of Matthew and everything is in all caps, there's no breath. That means that that's for a reason.
Look at this T though. Look at this picture.
Right.
This initial, the book. You say it's like a man holding up a trident.
And I see horses.
Exactly. So if you don't know that picture, how are you going to just read the book of Matthew, but you're not explaining the picture? This is everything right here. Everything is right here in this picture. And it's art.
Yeah, because that's what we've been learning, that the art was the only thing that stayed honest.
Yeah.
But you notice with Bible readers, they never bring this image up. They never bring up none of the images.
No.
They just skip it. They just say the book, and they skip all this information that's right here. What does this indicate? What does it mean? You can't speak it because you know if you speak it, you know you're lying because you don't know. You're just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't write it down now unless you get all the details. So you open your mind and you interpret it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can tell you what this is. Nobody.
Is the illustrator written in the Bible? Who is the illustrator of the pictures that are in the Bible?
I don't know.
I'd be curious about that.
Yes, I also was curious about because I want to know like what these images mean, and I try to find people opinions about these images because I would like to know what they mean or someone's opinion. I got my own opinion, but it's just an opinion. I don't know for sure. You know, so if you can find out what this picture mean, but instead of just saying,
is it the T like starting off the sentence because it's at the
exactly, you see that right? Duh.
That's the thing. But why make it this? Why make the image?
Right.
You know.
This the trick though. Being though it's a historical initial, illuminated initial. It says duh. Really, that T is not even really there because you can see how it's the size. This is just to start it off like what this is directing because you can see it in the art. I can show you more art with the supersized initial, and they still do it today. And that's the whole purpose behind when you write and when you indent. There's nothing there. You see this? It's the same indent. There's nothing there. So when you write in the paragraph and when you indent, just get homage to this.
Right.
It's funny because the way that looks like how we do our
I focus. I was about to say it looks like I focus.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, like I got F right there.
Yeah.
So so walk us down. Explain it to us militarily how what's going on militarily and how it's been going on forever, like the blood drinking and everything.
I'll explain it. I want to play a video if I can. This is
Of course.
let me see. Hold up. This is hold up. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to skip.
Fair use.
Yeah, fair
Why are you
use.
surrendering to Zod?
But listen to what she's saying.
I'm surrendering to mankind.
Listen to what he said.
There's a difference.
You let them handcuff you?
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted. And if it makes them feel more secure, then all the better for it.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about...
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. She said what the S stand for. He said it's not an S. She
Right.
said down here it's an S. He said in my world, he said it's a sign for hope. It's a sign. You can't speak it. It's just a sign. You can't say that means Superman.
Right.
He didn't say it sound. He give you a sound or nothing. He said it's a sign for hope. Because you can't speak it.
Right. Right.
And she said, the reporter, talking about something down here is an S. No, it's not no S.
In my world, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Well,
the military
here
didn't
it's
have to document
an S.
different.
Yep.
It's not an S.
S stand for?
Fair use.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about...
And you see how he looked at it like, yo, you can't read. He said it's a sign for hope. You can't say that's an act. You can't do that. You can't speak it. You can't write it down. You can't do that. So anybody speaking that, they lying. And it's the same way with the Bible. You can't speak them. It's symbols here. You can't speak. Majority of the text that you see, you can't speak. So the person who speak it, they already lost. That's why Superman looked at it. He said, in my world, it means hope. He didn't get no sound to it.
Nope.
She said it's an S. So she telling everybody else an S, they already lost. They would never know what it means.
So basically, we've been given some letters and alphabets and been given fake definitions of what things mean by as a military operation.
That's
much.
all. That's wrong. Because the language.
Well, we know that the first written languages were images.
Right. But it's the way you write it. That's like, that's why I showed you earlier in English, there's no caps. Subject, verb, object, punctuation, no caps. If you put anything in all caps, that's another language, and it follow a whole nother set of rules. If you don't know the rules to the language,
But it's not even just the S. It's the shape, that shape, because it's the
Right.
shape that it's in. Because what is that shape?
We only could guess. We would never know what that means. No scholar could tell
Like,
you this.
like I don't even think I don't know what that shape is in geometry. What's but what's the shape that it's in?
Only could guess, just like everybody else.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 5 points.
But my point is, he says a sign. He says a sign for hope. It's a sign. You can't say what it is. So it's just like when people look at the X sign for Twitter, they say that's an X, but I know it's not no X. They look at the McDonald's, they think I know it doesn't say that. When they look at these symbols and they claim it is something, I know for a fact it's not that. I could prove that easily through the language. That's why he told her. How she gonna tell him? She's like, down here it's a S. Nah, it's not no S. It's a sign. You can't speak that language. That's why I was showing you the superimposed icons that's in the Bible. Like you can't. It's something you can't do. You just can't do it. Like if you do it, it's just like yo, that's just foul and wrong. You just can't.
It's
Um,
really interesting that they put that there.
yes, it is. But I'm pretty sure this went over everybody's head because you gotta remember he the Superman, he the guy, and she said down here is the S. Nah, all she doing just misleading people. She's a reporter. You can't speak it. You can't. He says a sign for hope. The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention because you could look at many signs, you could assume what it is, you could claim what it wouldn't be, but you would never know what it actually is.
Yeah, what it means, because it all
Yeah,
has meaning.
yeah, it's not designed for you. It's not designed for you at all. Let me see something. Um, hold up, hold up. The fuck? Hello?
Yeah, we here.
Okay, now I'm showing you the James. I'm trying to get I gotta get another image. Uh, I'm trying to get a. Damn. Trying to show you this symbol. I don't know why it's blurry like that. But as you can see, what I'm showing right here, I'm showing the White House, and behind it said the White House.
You said about the White House,
Yes, you see it?
the symbol.
Yeah, hold on. Let me correct this.
Okay, that's better.
You can see it's bold, it's embossed, it's protrude. This is sign language, and you notice there's no air
It's
between it.
raised. It's raised.
That's right, it's sticking out, and you can see it because you can look at the edge and you can see the depth of it.
Yeah.
But says if I say to you this says the White House, I can't tell you what this means, how it's depicted. I can't. You cannot read this. You cannot speak it. There's no breath in between it. This right here is the dead symbol right here.
And it's all caps.
Yeah, it's all caps, and you see no punctuation, no hyphen,
Right.
no air in between it. The reason why I'm showing you that, because when you look at the Superman symbols, other symbols that you would see in the world, they all mean the same thing. They just made people feel comfortable with the symbol, but actually the people don't know what the symbol actually represents, even if they speak in it.
And what do the punctuations mean again? The different ones, the period, the colon, the hyphen, the slash, the what do all of those mean?
Let me.
If you could go into what the period is.
Period is rest, breath, blood, decimal.
And how does it tie in with women and the moon?
The period, in particular, all the symbols go back to the beginning of time. Since right in the beginning, they always use the circle and the breath. But what they did was they start diluting the symbols. Right here, I'm showing. Hold up. Because we could do it one by one.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do
Now,
it. Walk us down each one.
Now this right here is the colon punctuation mark, size vertically. But people see the colon, but it's
It also looks like two, the two on the die.
that's right. There you go. Now look, check this out. In which the end of such colon was thought to occasion a medium lift breath. You see that? A medium lift it's a breathing mark. All these punctuations is nothing but breathing marks. If you ain't breathing, you dead. That mean the word dead. Just like in music. On the music sheets, they got breathing marks. All living languages have breathing marks. And was marked by a mid dot. That's what they use in Latin. A breathing mark.
So
if it ain't no
what's the deal with the semicolon?
the semicolon represents one breath. Well, I mean one speaker, and the speaker breathe and he continue on, but it's one speaker. The reason why I'm stressing it like that, in that way, if you look right here, it says some writers also use a double dot symbol that later came to be used as a full stop. That's the period. Full stop is the period. Like these symbols got like 100 different names. So you see what I'm saying? So somebody can't just say it mean this and that's it. No, it don't work that way. Everything got like 1,000 different names. Like, so on to mark a change of speaker. This is two breaths right here. So if you see a writing is one speaker, then what you see the colon, does someone else speak? It's to change the speaker. I know this is a difficult concept to grasp, but it's a change in speaker.
No, we learn it. That's why you here, because this is a part of our brain that has never been opened.
It's a change of speaker. So you notice every time when you read, you never mention the colon, the period, or nothing. You'll never speak it.
Nope.
Yeah, because you don't speak the name. That's God right there.
Explain.
God is the air and the breath.
So the having the symbols removes God from our speech.
Say that again.
The symbol, by placing the symbols in between the words, it removes God from our
Or it places
speech.
God.
Because,
God.
let me show you what they did. Let me.
Because we're not using the punctuation.
G- God always required a break. Everything you do got a break. If you walk into the store, you'll come to a traffic light. You will stop and you'll continue. If you work in a job, you get a lunch break. But nobody never kept the lunch break. But it happened.
And
It's just it's just to pay homage to the universe. Like how I operate. Like it need a break. Everything need a break. Look, you got quarters, break. In sports, they got the break. That just represents God.
That's what makes me think about like I know it's tribes all over the world that do it, but in particular, there's this tribe in Africa that just talks like, you know what I mean? Like they don't use any kind of actual words. It's just sounds. Like their names are sounds.
That's right.
so is what would so how would you characterize those languages that are just clicking?
Yeah, clicking. Thank you.
Yeah, it mimics the heartbeat. If you listen to your heartbeat, you can hear the boom, like boom boom. It's like it's a high and low, but the way that they pronounce the sound, only the other person will know that. You see what I'm saying? Like this ain't something like everyone can know and interpret the language.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a video so I can give an example because I always found that very interesting.
Only those that know it, like for instance, let's just say somebody write a book, but the book is only designed for me and you. Everybody else could read it and they think they could be reading about the economy, but me and you could read it and we get another abstract idea out of it because it's not designed for them. But we know about the science.
Like the Masonic codes, like how they use their different
Yeah,
codes.
exactly. But the codes is all around everybody, but no one not explaining it to them. You know, like when you look at these signs don't mean or say what people think they say and mean. So that's why they always want you socially gathering, because they want you to continuously to talk, because the stuff you talking can't be spoken. So you already wrong. So how you gonna grasp the ideas when someone giving something a name that can't be spoken? You calling out something that can't be spoken. So you already wrong.
All right, let me see.
Okay.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
He's speaking in French.
No, he's speaking their language.
Right.
They got
He's clicking in between things, the words.
Okay.
Is that click and acknowledgement? God
Thank you very much.
yeah, like I think he's representing.
So I think his is right.
Right. That's
Because
why,
he's stopping for a break.
That's
And-
right.
And I think that click is the acknowledgement of God.
Right. And that click mean to break. Boom. Like a period. Like an exclamation mark. It symbolizes you putting your foot down. It's a symbol of a break of rest.
And
So he breaking up the word. So imagine if he was writing it. He's like, all right, let us say he said cat, then you made that sound. Then you would write cat, dog, water. And being though he made the break, you could tell he separated.
Gotcha. And the break. So basically, the way he's speaking with the break, he's getting a break to keep God in the language.
Yeah, that's all. God is rest. Anything that has to do with rest represents God. Anything.
gotcha.
That's why when you write a sentence, you write boom. Let's just say the capital letter represents the sun. Did you go down to the moon. Boom. It's a period. Boom. It's a sound. Then what you do? You start back up. Now, if you don't put that period, what's going on? Like that don't represent God. There's no break. This is continuously.
So the nature of the universe is the God's universe. The nature is to always keep that break in between what you're doing, and that's nature. So with our language and how we're writing things, we're not acknowledging the breaks. So we're taking God out of our words and out of our writing.
No, but they do though, because it's everything you do, you get a break. You pay your bill at the end of the month. Then
Yeah,
they wait
basically,
30 days. It's another 30 days, another 30 days, another 30 days.
no, I get what you're saying because they're abiding by the rules. But
Right.
they got us so consumed with what they inundated us with all of the requirements of what they need from us that we're giving all of the energy to them and not giving any energy towards the creator.
That's right. The
That's
creator is
why,
life.
that's why we're always rushing, especially in America. Like we just rushing through everything.
And that's what it's doing. It's rushing.
Yep.
It's not giving us a break.
Yep.
It's
Exactly.
it's keeping us on this damn cycle.
Keep you running.
In this damn hamster wheel.
Yep.
It keeps us going. We don't stop.
Nope.
We don't stop because we're not given a break. And
Mhm.
for those who, my personal opinion, I believe that we are God. And in our words, in the way we're speaking, and the way we're living, we're not giving ourselves a break.
Later.
In acknowledging us, we're not acknowledging, we're doing a disservice to ourselves by participating in this system.
Yeah. And that's what they doing, people. Because you notice when you write a number, you got to put a period. Because how do I know it's a fraction or a whole number? You
Right.
don't. You guessing. So everybody that's why I keep saying about sports. Now, if you look at this right here, you see the decimal point, ones and tens. So if this decimal point wasn't here, how would you even know where the ones at? I'll be guessing. How?
That's how I've been looking at examining the zero as well, because the zero is probably the most powerful, significant number that we have because just by its placement will devalue or increase value just with its placement.
But the zero is not real.
But the zero
It's used.
says that it holds no value.
Yeah. And also, being though to me this period or decimal point represents God. You see, when you look at the period and decimal point, it both mean the same thing, but in different situations, it got a different name. This is a decimal, and in the sentence it be a period. But it both do the same thing though. It both got the same function.
And what's the definition of a decimal?
Let me see. Look at there. Hold up. Relating or relating to or denoting a system of numbers and arithmetic based on the number 10, 10th parts, and power of 10. It's the power of 10. Like the 10 Commandments.
Right.
Gotcha.
That is the 10 Commandments. It's the writing. It all goes right back to the writing. Without that decimal, you can't read it. People read it, but they're guessing. Like,
And look, they even got it written out on here. They got the I isolated.
Exactly. Because that's you in between.
And we're not giving time for us.
That's you. And also, I'm glad you brought that up because it say DEC, middle dot. You see that? It got
Right.
the I, middle dot, MAL.
Right.
That's how you write it. And that's the reason why it's written like this because it's syllables. That's mo. You hear 3 syllables.
Yeah.
So when you speak, you're supposed to be in the syllables, but they start combining words together and they corrupt everything. Like words like football.
Oh, that's Shango. Hey, Shango. Hello? Shango, we can hear you if you try to say something. If you trying to jump in. Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. Go ahead, Drake.
But you see what I'm saying? This the syllables right here. The same. They write the same way today as they've written since the beginning of time. It's the same writing.
All right, so look up period. Let me see how they write
Hey,
period.
how you doing? I'm sorry, Uncle. I was Uncle that came, so I had. Oh no, I
It's
was trying to say, hello there. My uncle was here, so I was trying to hit him out. Just a minute. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, it's all good. We figured you would jump on when you could get in a better when you could hear and everything. We just I don't know if you've been following what we've been talking about, but we're looking at the punctuations in regards to how we're writing language. Now go all the way up because
Can y'all hear me?
so they got we can hear you. So they got RI isolated this time.
Pair, read, count the syllables, and that's when you know where to put the dot at, and you put the breath in between. That's why when God said in that verse, two more are gathered, I am present. It's that dot. It's that interval. It's the breath.
We're being rushed basically, and we need to slow down our words.
That's right. Like what you rushing for? You're in fear. When you look at the language, if I'm writing something real fast, I'm in fear. Like we live in fear, but we just don't know it because the way you're writing. Because if you say you're writing something and you just take your time, you write, it's gonna be flawless, perfect. It's gonna be a work of art. But what they do, they rush you. So when you're writing, everything all corrupted. Like, oh, I ain't had that much time.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
And it trickles down into our reality, and it trickles down into our behavior. So the word is first, and if we're speaking and operating particularly with our language, it causes us to operate like that in our real life. And that's why the shamans always take their time, break, and breathe.
Now, this is the problem with all the
We're
writing.
being sped up.
When people, right. But people don't comprehend it. Cursive lag. Now, I'm going to show you what cursive means to run. Now, why are you running? You're an animal. You've been running all your life and you just don't know it. That's why they had that demonic writing back in Egypt. That's why we had cursive to get you running. So you always been running.
And that's some great psychological fuckery there.
It is, and just think about it because that's why I wanted to look at that that African tribe, the one that do the clicking when they talk, because I always found that very interesting because they be saying whatever they saying, but the entire time simultaneously they just clicking through the whole thing.
And some of them just click.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to pull up some more.
Now look at this. I'm showing you NBA score. I'm just showing you how they format the numbers. Look, 108. Is that a fraction or is them whole numbers? I don't know. The way it's depicted, it need to be have a period.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you write a number down, you gotta have a period. It's just law. They remove the period, so every time when you looking at anything, you actually guessing. Because the way it's depicted, you can't read it.
And how does removing the period tie into femininity?
Because if you move the period, let me see, what screen am I showing? Okay, right here you got the ones and the tens. So if I move the decimal point right here, this right here will be 7 whole.
Right. Right.
You see, it'll be a whole number because the period is based right here.
Right.
You see this number right here? 863,267. Now, if I move it back here, instead of this being tens, this be a whole, and all this to change. You see the comments right here. The I believe these the rough breathing marks. They're the rough or smooth breathing marks. I forgot, but they got the breathing marks right there. Boom, boom, boom. Tens. You need that 10. You need that decimal. If somebody present you with a number, there ain't no decimal. How you gonna read it? You can't. You guessing. Like if you look at let me show you something. Wall Street.
Right.
This is. I
Or
want to show
even
you.
a comma. The
Now,
comma's like that too.
now this is Wall Street. Now, if you notice at Wall Street, imagine. Look, they're using decimals, periods. Imagine if they remove. Exactly right, because they know they're not playing around. They know you need them. But why in the NBA game they don't just put the period at the end? Because they treat them like animals. They said man only follow animals. Man only follow the rules. Animals doesn't. If you look at everything, we don't follow the rules on anything, and that's why he's bringing up the language. We think we do. We may think we do, but the way it's written, is and that what made everybody deaf.
Yeah,
That's
look,
what
there's hella signs on this ticker tape.
exactly. All signs, signs in Arabic. But you know they got a decimal everywhere. But you ain't never seen an NBA game final score where they put the decimal. You could go to a high school football game. They don't use no decimal because they want to keep you blind, deaf, and dumb. Without that decimal, it's not breathing. It's dead. It means nothing, and you can't read it. There's no breath in it. And let me show you something more about this.
That's my son.
My son loves the Gorillas, the band.
Yeah.
Say what?
Has he heard?
Hey Shango, have you ever heard any of this before about language? Have you been listening? Have you been able to listen? I know you were with your
Hello. Yeah, I have heard that before. I've heard this before, but it's interesting to hear him rekindle those thoughts or whatnot about the etymology and the spelling, how low is the vibration, and how they mix words and what these words mean in Latin, and how they put spells in these words and they do in certain ways. So yeah, I'm just listening.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because he was the first person to bring this to our attention,
Uh-huh.
especially about how important it was for those periods and the breath, and that's why I was showing the tribe, some of those native tribes, they're not just writing with punctuations or breaks or anything, but they're speaking it.
This right here is a Ouija board. You notice you can't write no English on this. There's no lowercase letters. There's no punctuation.
Nope.
This right here is called spirit rapping. The reason why they call it rap, if you look at your address, a street sign, it's called a rap because rapping is for the dead. That's all it is.
Like rap music?
Yes. Yeah, it's to summon the dead. Matter of fact, let me show you that right now. So, hold up. Hold up. Spirit rapping, communication by rats held to be from the spirits of the dead. Why they calling it rapping? Because it's a small amount. Like your stop sign. You're not saying nothing. You're not speaking the language. Let me show you something else. Hold up.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but they said that the devil controls this physical landscape that we live in, this reality, and I don't think people realize that we're actually dead. All of us are dead. Everybody who's listening, we are all dead and we don't know it. And not just dead, we are not, we are in hell.
Now this
Well,
right
yeah,
here is the
it talks about that. I'm sorry, but it talks about the Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Like they say it, this is under Malkuth, under the which is I think the last spear in the Kabbalah, and it says, yeah, this is a hell realm. You
Yeah,
come here
we are.
either to evolve or bring other people. That's what Bodhisattvas and Buddhists and all the other people say, just to rock with that. So,
Yeah, I don't want to get to the conclusion. I kind of jumped the gun because that's a conclusion that all of us are dead and nobody's told us. And Shango, can you introduce yourself since you just got on so people understand who you are?
oh, I'm I'm just your neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm just here to listen and I'm just here to learn and chill out. And as far as the people, I'm just an inspired spiritual seeker and loving the knowledge, brother. Just trying to learn. That is it.
now you see this the Fox sisters right here. It's called spirit rappings. They the two young sisters use rappings to convince their older sisters and others that they were communicating with spirits.
What's that? What's that? What's that? Who? Because I see my birthday in here, March 8th. Also, who that? Somewhat one of the years that one of them died.
Now look, this is back in 1833. It's the way you write. The way if you have to write in complete sentences. That's the whole key to everything. Honestly, when you look at your look at any store, that's a rap. It's all everything you ever looked at or read, but been in rap. Honestly, and in glosses.
Their rappings have been hoax, publicity demonstrate method despite their confession, the spiritualism movement continues to grow in popularity.
And Shango, can you speak like, I know that we're dead. And not only we dead, I know that we're actually in hell. I know that. And it's all hidden in the language. Can you speak to that from us from your perspective and what you know from your studies and your deep investigation into this reality?
You know, well, I mean, from the little research that I've done, I give most of the reverence to Brother Joseph. He talks a lot about that. Dr. Mitchell Gibson. If you've ever went through Buddhism, Hermeticism, Sufism, Kabbalah, agnosticism, they talk a lot about the dimensions and the realms. So they talk about over the ninth dimension is the overworld. So you have the ninth dimension, the eighth dimension, the seventh dimension, and the sixth and the fifth. And the fifth dimension is all about creation and light. And anything under that, the fourth dimension is the astral plane, and the third dimension is where we're at. So in the third dimension, supposedly you have humans, angels, daemons, jinn, elementals, and then under that, I think it's like in the hell realms, which you've said this before, hell is cold, it's not hot. The hell realms is like in between the third and the second, and then the first is just the whole level of beginning of creation, like they call that the recycle realm. So in this third realm, you have, as Dr. Delver Blair would say, you have man, mankind, and human, right? All races have seed lineages. So the rumor is that each race comes from a different creation. That we're not all the same. Although we do have similar DNA, the rumor is we all come from different regions. So I was told, for instance, Caucasians come from the book of fire. Native Americans or black melanated come from the book of earth. Africans come from water, and the Asians come from air. And so those different characteristics they kind of bleed down to everything. But specifically about us being dead, I mean, it talks about this, of course. Isis. Remember when they weigh the heart to see where you at? So if your soul is as light as a feather, you get to go to the other realm and blast past. If not, you get to go back into Hades or Sebek. Funny enough, right? The underland of the souls or hell, and this is considered hell, right? So that's why um does and it's funny because we don't understand that until um you really sit back and you look at life and you see how, quote unquote, how life is good for some people, bad for some people, indifferent for some people. um Karma, dharma, the real of reincarnation. Why some people are able to get away with certain things and they don't have immediate karma, and some people could kill a bug and they lose a leg. And you go look into the stories of Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, the Dzogchen, and hell, you look at Baptist churches, Catholicism, Sufism, and you kind of see the origins of all that going back to Adam Westfield, the Illuminati, Masonry, everything. You just start to see what it's all about and why it's like, why the world is the way that it is. So you come here, serve a purpose or to spiritually elevate. When I took this Japanese World Divine Light Center class, they talked about how when you die, the first 30 days or first 30 years, it's kind of like your soul is attached from your body. Then you're grabbed by your spiritual guides, and then 50 years taken somewhere else to forget your whole identity, and then you're taken to another realm of dimension. So it's kind of complicated, but the point of it is you come here to develop a body of light so that you could go to a higher dimension. And they call that body of light different things. From the Kaling water mystic system, they call it the golden dragon body. From the Dzogchen Buddhists, they call it the rainbow body. I think in Sufism, they call it the transmigration body. All spiritual systems talk about the body. So the Indian Vedas call it the superconductive body. Taoism calls it the diamond body or the jade body. Tantric calls it the adamant body. Sufism call it the sacred or super celestial body. The Hermetics call it the immortal body. Kriya Yoga calls it the body of bliss. The Emerald Tablets call it the golden body. They keep talking about this, right? And this is supposedly the body that Jesus learned to develop when he left the church at 13. He went to Egypt, he went to Tibet, he went to Indonesia, he went to China, and he went to other places to find all these different techniques that would allow him to become immortal or evolve into what we saw him be into when he died, which was the rainbow body. And there's a book that talks about that called The Rainbow Body and Resurrection by a guy named Francis A. Tesla. He's a Catholic priest who goes and does his investigation by going to research a Dzogchen Buddhist who recently achieved the rainbow body, shrunk down to like a whole bunch of inches, and then when he died, it smelled like roses and rainbows and stuff came out, almost like Dragon Ball Z when you become a Super Saiyan and all these different events happen. He has a book on that, and he talks about that. And it's something that's not, it's mentioned in the Bible vaguely, but it's not taught to the public. Most of the time, you have to be in one of those spiritual inclinations or a secret or a magical order or a Taoist order or order that's going to tell you how to develop it.
So Drake, can you
Yes.
ago and I was saying that we're all dead and we're actually in hell and we don't know it. And you told me you knew that was the case and you could prove it. How can you prove it?
If you don't how would it sound? How would it smell? How would it look?
I don't know.
Okay. One
It was
description.
like torching, screaming.
Okay, screaming, right? Okay. Now, everywhere you look, don't you see all capital letters?
Yeah,
It's screaming and it's belligerent.
right.
Look
So
at them. It's nothing but screaming. Let me hold up. Let me show you something. Hold up. Now I'm showing you symbols. All this right here. Look at it. What does it say? None of this is depicted in English. There's no punctuation or anything. All this right here is dead. Look, Chanel is screaming. This is a scream. This is a scream. This is a scream. It's a dead scream also. It's unbelievable. Versace. It says nothing. It's dead. There's no breath in it. Now, the reason why I show you the rap, because if you look at all right, let's just take this symbol right here, Chanel and Polo. Hold up. Now, if you look at the Ouija board, if I'm writing Polo, P-O-L-O, what's the difference? How they depicting it? It's, besides the font size, because it's D. All caps. Look at the numbers. Is the reason why you know it's there because there's no hyphen, there's no period, there's no breathing. But you already got to treat the dead respect. That's why I got goodbye at the end, so you can end it just like a period.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you said our phone is a Ouija board too, right?
Yes.
Explain.
Let me bring it up.
You know the Ouija board comes from Baltimore, right?
Of course. I'll say you so casual with all of the information.
I know. Neighborhood Spider-Man. And he said that as soon as Julius walked in too.
Of course.
Now this right here is everybody pretty much phone, keyboard, and when you look at, let me see, hold up. Now, when you look at the keyboard, you notice everything in all caps. Everything. Nothing on here is breathing. The hashtag also means checkmate. This is the star. Look at it. It's all caps.
Mm-hmm. That makes it a Ouija board because it's all caps?
Yes. Because the Ouija board do what? Communicate with the dead.
Correct.
Not only that, when you look at the Ouija board, I believe OUI I believe this is French, OE, and this is German. It's two languages right here. OUI, it says yes. Two languages. Now look, this is why he's talking about the Bible. Now this right here, now this is the alphabets capitalized. Now this right here, 1 through 9 is 0. This is Arabic. Two languages. Everything is two or more languages.
I'm gonna read a couple comments while you're going to that.
All right.
My man Avatar saying the word QWERTY is like the word quirky, and I can see when you use the word quirky keyboard, it's a lot like a piece on the Ouija board. PBS lover says the single pointed concentration or tranquil abiding on a virtuous object is meritorious. On a non-virtuous object is black magic. And he also said that my tradition of Buddhism, new Kadampa traditions, very supple mind, which perpetuates through lifetimes. Thanks for the comments, folks.
Now, this the numerals. This is Arabic language on Wikipedia. Now, you notice that in most of the present-day North Africa, the Western Arabic numerals. So how, if I say, speak this symbol right here, what would you say?
3.
Okay, 3, right? Now, if I put, I want to show you, I wish I had it fixed. Now, we know 3 in English is THREE.
Right.
Okay, so this ain't no THREE. So how is this English? How you speak this?
Right.
You can't speak these digits. You can't. The reason why you can't speak the digits is because the digits mimic your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you speak with your finger, what you doing? You signing. You finger spelling. There's no sound.
So basically, our language is literally keeping us deaf, dumb, and blind.
That's it. Just the language. That's why you never hear no leaders speak about the language. And when it's the language itself, look at it. Look at the ball game. Just look. All you gotta do is look at the language. It's hell's language. It says nothing. It's dead. It's not properly formatted. Simple as that.
And
Now,
changing the language gets us out of hell.
well, I believe the people just want to stay. I mean, this is just my really opinion. You know, maybe people want to stay and maybe they got something to do. I don't know, but I feel like I just want to point out all the deception. And I think it's primarily coming from the language. When people fighting over and arguing over the Bible, why? Because it's the language. But nobody never said that. Look at how it's written. Why is it written that way? How do you read it? You know, there's no reason to fight or argue. Because you can see.
I also wanted you to cover commerce as well. Explain what commerce really is.
Oh yeah.
So you're saying that if the language was properly formatted in the Bible, there would be no room for interpretation.
No, that's right. Nothing at all. Nothing. That's why when I show you the NBA scores, I said I don't know how to interpret it. Is it a fraction? Is it a whole number? I don't know. So I'm guessing. See, the reason why it's confusing to me, because I just know more than the language, but everybody else, they've been told lies and they believe they know the language. So that's why they're not questioning it. You see what I'm saying? But if they've been told if they weren't told the truth about the language and its format, they see it as I see it. Because I'm just going to the grammar rules and just pointing out.
No, but no one knows. Like the way you're locked in on this is breathing. It's like breathing for you. But we've all accepted it. But if we start questioning the language, and we start questioning how we're using it versus how they're using it, they're completely different. Because that stock market is speaking a completely different language. They're using these symbols and so forth in a completely unique way, and everything is individual and separated. I know I want out.
And what's the significance of the cross and the addition sign being the same sign?
Okay, now the sign is supposed to be equal cross. You know that cross is not equal. It's more of a dagger. That's why if you notice when the cross is in the ground, is over what? A dead body.
Yeah.
The cross is over the church. They dead. People wear crosses around their neck. They're dead. Their chest is dead. Their heart is dead. They just don't know it. That's what it symbolized.
You got that right. I got big cross on my back. Yeah. I'm
But
dead.
but this is just my opinion, though. You see what I'm saying? I'm just giving my opinion.
Well, let me explain. Let me help you out with that part. When he says he's giving his opinion, what he's really saying is, um, because the words that he's using to explain are words that we've been using improperly. Nothing is communicated properly because we're using words in a way that's that we don't know if they're right or wrong. So it's more than opinion. It's I'm giving you this information based on an etymology that we're all using, but because we know that it is wrong, he's saying it's his opinion. You get it?
Oh yeah, I get it.
Okay.
And blow that image up, please. And let's see, we got some more comments here. Okay, try to get through some of these comments before we move forward. Go ahead, Sam. I can't read it.
Yeah, I read that.
No, not these. Oh, what about? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Here you go.
Okay, so meaning safe and effective. Well, AK-47s are safe and effective, aren't they? Gotcha. So he put AK/47s. Gotcha.
I'm showing the definition of commerce. Do y'all see it?
Looking at it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So when we're saying the word commerce, what are we really saying when we're saying the word commerce?
I think he'll be back. He must have got booted out.
Yes, I'm saying.
Everybody got booted out. It looked like.
Hold tight, folks. And this, I know this may seem a little complicated and it's hard to verbalize, but it's extremely, extremely important. And some of the things sound a common sense and of course and make sense. And some of the things may seem off, but it's very hard to explain language when the language that we've been taught is not, don't mean what we think it means. So it gets very, very tricky. And my good friend Drake here, he's so locked into this that it's trying to come up with the right level to get the message out is tricky because he's hyper intelligent and lives this every day, and trying to bring it down to our level where we've been using this and not seeing what they are gets tricky. Trying to translate it from the understanding to translate the understanding to us, we use now general terminology, but um, what we're going to get into is um, going through the Bible. And you notice in the beginning, he stated that he was studying the Bible and trying to figure things out, and saw how the Bible was formatted, and sees and understands that it's a weapon, and the whole thing is a military operation. And when you're reading it, a first degree Mason reads the Bible, and a 33rd degree Mason reads the same Bible, but the 33rd degree Mason sees much more than what the first degree Mason is going to see. So we're trying to break that down. Go ahead, Shango, please.
Yeah, everybody got booted out. We waiting for Drake to come back. Both of y'all got knocked out. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, but Shango, please add on to this, brother.
About what? I'm sorry, I just got in.
Oh, okay. And I was explaining that this is a hard matter to try to explain because
Mhm.
Drake is, when I tell you that he is obsessed, and he's locked into this in a way that I've never met another human being as far as this language. I mean, like, he's the kind of person that won't go outside and go and participate in certain things because he sees a deception taking place, and him going outside, it's screaming in his face. You know how, like, yeah, let's say that if somebody was screaming that, let's say there was a guy out there screaming that vaccines was poison. Let's just, as a hypothetical,
Huh?
and because he knows all about it and knows everything that's taking place with it, it's hard for him to go outside and go on YouTube and do X, Y, and Z because um, it's hard to explain to other people because it's so in his face. So to try to explain to somebody else becomes a difficult thing to break down. So I'm kind of a little bit of a translator, trying to get this message out to kind of let us know where we are and how we're here. And all of it is with the language. The language is the word, it's the foundation, and our foundation dictates our actions. And once we say things, these spells, we put them out in the ether, and they evolve on their own and turn into what we spoke. Well, if we're saying good job, but the word good actually means I love Satan, and the word job means kill all babies, we're we're putting a spell out there, not knowing that we're putting a spell out there. And the people who gave us this language are controlling it. And thus, by them controlling our language, they get to control the reality.
Yeah, I mean, just I would think for the people or the public seeing to recognize how powerful language is and etymology, we can go all the way back to the Tower of Babel, right? Languages were broken up in pieces, and when humanity all had one powerful language and they were getting ready to elevate us, some say open a portal to heaven or God himself, we heard what happened, and after that, different sects, different cultures all have different languages, right? Funny enough, right. They always say English is the lowest vibrational language that you could use. They call Latin the Hebrew, the language of light, and Hebrew the language of fire. And they say when you learn these different languages, they do something to your mind. Even the way Hebrew is read is not read from, I think, left to right. It's read from right to left. And right. It's supposed to change the way your brain thinks and the type of thoughts and the vibration you have. And it's no mistake that rapping, and just in general, because of how America is, it's a deaf culture. So in order to establish that deaf, in order to feed off that energy, in order to propagate that all the time, you need to be able to be running that spell subconsciously and consciously all the time. And language is how they do it. Like you said, there's no mistake. I mean, look at rapping, right? Spiritual rapping. If a melanated person wasn't told that and told to research that, we wouldn't know that rap is basically the music of death. So, every time we turn around, a rapper's getting shot or killed or beat up or something negative or violent happening to them, well, they putting it on themselves. Biggie told you you're nobody until somebody kills you, and then he died.
And life to death.
So it's one of those things, and it still happens to this day. These rappers do, how ironic that we melanated people come from a rich musical background history of, gospel, rock and rolls, and all that different music, and it's gotten even crazier, or even to the next level of degeneracy or negative, the minute that rap, gangster rap, hip hop was took from hip hop, of course, to knowledge itself, to rap, to gangster rap, to whatever this is now, drill music, right? And all it is what? The etymology, the spelling, also Some say cursing is the language of demons. So you can kind of see how, you know, these things are put in the loop. Like it's no mistake that we are where we are, and the language is a big part of it. It's no mistake. It's no mistake that when I'm gonna say when the Jays run the world, they go off of the Talmud and the Torah, and the language that they used to read it is way different. And the Zohar, right? That language is way different from the language that we used to read the Bible. It's not by mistake.
Right. Right.
Hey Drake, make it large screen.
Okay. Let me see something. I'm trying. I don't know what happened, but
No, you and Shango both got booted out at the same exact time. So I don't know what just happened.
well, this is commerce, the activity of buying and selling, especially on a large scale. The reason why they say on a large scale, because it's a pun on the word, like a large scale sex is an orgy. That's why when you see these movies, when they depict hell, it's always sex. All they talking about is business. Social dealings between people, sexual intercourse.
A big advertised orgy.
Yeah, that's all. That's why I say on a large scale, because it's a joke. Like if you don't know the joke, you won't understand. But it's a large orgy. That everybody having sex with everybody.
Music. Oh,
I thought it was sex music.
I thought this was some orgy music.
That was See, interchange of good or property, trade, right? See, what people don't understand, look, trafficking, everything, what they showing you, it's just a distraction because everybody's already engaged in it, including the kids. YouTube is engaged in commerce, Instagram. So if your kids on YouTube, they engage in it also. Now that's how wicked this place is. There's no way around it. They engage also in commerce. Now I'm going to show you another word, but people don't look at it, but it is basketball. What you're looking at is commerce. Everything is commerce. Sex.
Prostitution.
Now let me. What is definition at? Let me see. Libertine. Libertine is someone who is unstrained in traditional morals or social rules, particularly in the context of sexual behavior. Now, libertine give you the word sexual liberty. So kids running up inside the sexual liberty. If you don't know the word, you don't know the language, you'll never understand. It's a pun.
Sex.
Yeah, it's all sex. Look, I'm showing you right here and here. Nobody don't comprehend it though. You know, nobody. So the kids just they already in it. There's no way out of it. It's the language. Liberty give you libertine. I'm showing you right here. I'm gonna give you another word. Let me see.
Libertarian is a straight freak.
Yeah, it's all sex. The kids engaged it's unbelievable what's going on down here. Let me seriously, like it's unbelievable.
Oh my
So-
God.
Can get into it, Drake? Listen, I know you're being polite, but kind of get into, you know how it says it's gonna be worse than the days of Noah, and people don't quite understand it. Can you
'Cause
explain it?
they can't see. They look at with their physical eyes. The God. See, remember how they say Adam and Eve? Now, before I start thinking with my brain, I see with my eyes. That's the Eve. You send that to your brain, and you calculate everything in your mind. You don't look with your eyes and go for it. That's the deception.
Okay.
It's way worse than it's just like the days of Noah because everything that's happening then is happening now, and I can show you and demonstrate for you everything, like literally everything. It's all here. But You can't see with your physical eyes, not unless you know what you're looking for, because it's just signs. You know, it's just signs, magic, parlor tricks, and that's it.
Um, and kind of to kind of reiterate that point, um, to help kind of co-sign it. I mean, at this point, it's not even that people. And I would say this: people at this point in time, we know that something's wrong. That's one thing that, like when I was in a group of people, I was like, look, the deeper degrees on what people understand, is different. Some people have Solomon understanding. Some people have Aces Hardware understanding. Some people have no understanding. But one thing that we all intuitively feel is that something's wrong with this world. Whether people choose to go deeper in that and figure out what that means for them and how to escape, of course, depends on the person. But at this point in time, even after COVID, right? I think we've all talked about this. There's a quote unquote awakening. I mean, it's just an understanding that hey, the powers that be that help govern the world don't care about you as much as they should. So it's time for you to figure out why. If that's the only thing that I feel like people can use to really figure it out, that's the most important thing. That the people that we give our money, our time, our livelihood, our energy, right? People working their whole lives to keep this system up, they don't care about you. Why don't they? What is it about them that makes them feel like nothing that we're doing matters enough for them to want to propagate life instead of death? That alone should make people know, hey, something's wrong. Now, again, like I was saying, what people do about that is different, of course. But we can't even say that no more. That people are asleep because there's a lot of people asleep. It's just that they don't want to do anything. I think we've seen that enough to be. If you've been in, I always say it like this, and then I kind of land the plane. Melanated people have been talking about civil rights and how the injustices of the government, the Oklahoma City bombing, all types of stuff. We have been yelling to the mountaintops that, hey, America's not what you think it is. It's not just a land of milk and honey. It's not just a land of opportunity where people can do whatever they want to do. It's pretty controlled. We, as melanated people, we've been yelling that for years. And it's not that other races didn't know. It's just that they chose to act like it was just us, like it was nothing, like, oh, we don't understand how you've been here and you have all y'all not where y'all supposed to be. Well, now you're seeing why. Because ever so many years, due to politics, as he said, they come in and they rock the boat. And they realign everything and they play these games and they do these hype lines on the news and with the language, kind of what you're saying. They play a lot of different games to control the melanated person here, but as well as the other people that are indoctrinating themselves into this culture, right? And that for sure, everybody knows that, hey, something's wrong. What you want to choose to do about it is your merit. But I can't say that anymore because when I was first coming up in here, I used to think, oh, like man, people don't know. No, you'll be point blank in people's face, tell them what it is, and they'll be like, man, you right, and still go back to do what they're doing. And it is what it is.
Facts. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's laziness. No one wants to. Everybody wants. Everybody wants more, but nobody wants to sacrifice. To Nobody wants to sacrifice. They just want more. And you put. I see you got licentiousness. That's how you pronounce it. Licentiousness. It's a big word. License.
Yes. And the word license derived from that. When you have a license, you're already sexually unrestrained automatically. Doesn't everybody have a license?
Right. Right. So it's in our language. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think the people actually comprehend the language. It's impossible because someone would tell their children or someone else. It's just impossible because if you knew what this language actually means, like you wouldn't wear big letters or anything. Like you wouldn't do that. That's why when you notice the executives, they always dressed up in suits. They ain't nothing but priests. That's priestly garments. But I'm showing you this word to show you that everyone have a license, so they sexually immoral if they know it or they don't know it. So
Because when they're saying sex, they're not talking about physical. Sex to them is defined as something different.
no, it's the way that they use the word to make it seem like it's always physical, but it's not physical. It never was. Business, like I show you, commerce is sex. Like it's no way to get around it. But people believe it's not sex because they keep thinking about sex physical. That's why they lost. Everything is mental and spiritual. So if me and my girl, if she going to work, she already engaging in the orgy spiritually. You know, is she working for? I don't know. IBM. If she working for IBM, all they doing is having sex in there, and they producing a product. Now the product that they produce, the product that they produce is dead. That's when it comes to necrophilia, because you're having sex with a dead body. It's not living, but it's treated like a human being.
And we're all doing these things and have no idea what we're participating in.
Yeah, everybody doing it. They just don't understand the language.
So it's actually worse than they know.
Let me show you. Like at the post office, anything you're going inside that building and you're producing a product. It's sex. Everything you do, you're producing a product. The information in our head, they own it. They own all of it. That's why they want to protect you, because it's their information that they gave you. And they want you to carry it around, ship it, trade it, etc., etc. If you look at it from that perspective, then you can see everything for what it truly is. How they just manipulating everybody, and it's their information. It's just like if I have a name, somebody else could go and trademark my name. What I could do? Nothing, because it's not my name. It's theirs. It's Caesar's. You know, so names don't mean nothing. Anything with a name is limited,
Right.
and it's property.
Right.
You know, so why limit yourself? Like if you say you're a God, what kind of God are you? Think about it.
Right.
Then who control that language? That's another thing too. It's the language that is depicted in. People, they use it, but look who language that is depicted in. You know what I'm saying? They own that. It's theirs. It's not my language.
That's like why they made the slaves speak English and stop speaking their native tongue.
Right. Yeah. The whole slave trade thing was about language. It was about, people think it's about language. If you look around the world and you look at everybody money, you can see Arabic, Western Arabic numerals on it, because they already been colonized. It don't matter where you go, it's the same everywhere. They already been colonized. That's why they're using their language.
So the colonization is more about language than anything. They go places and
Exactly.
speak the language.
That's right. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's, I mean, people aren't seeing this obvious thing that they're making you talk like them, and it strengthens the illusion. It strengthens the lie, and gives strength to the foundation of the lie when we use these terms that was given to us by a fucking criminal. In this terms, the terms we're using, we're using demonic terms because at the end of the day, we are in hell, Bobby. We are in hell.
Now, I want to show you a birth certificate or something. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on.
Hey, Shango, you jump in. You know, we love the information you have. I wanted to kind of pair you two together because y'all on some things.
Now I'm showing you driver's licenses. Did you see them?
Yeah, we see him.
Okay, now look. This is Arabic right here.
Hmm.
I see Arabic. I see Frank spelling. Where is the English? There's no English on no driver's license. Where? I don't see no sentence. Where is it? This this is Arabic and American Sign Language. There's no English on there. Look, where's the sentence? There's no sentence nowhere. Look, no sentence. And this is easy. This is easy. It's the same way with the birth certificate. Look at these languages. Look, this is Arabic because you're still enslaved. How you going to have French on here? This is French, and you got Arabic
Hmm.
sign language. Look, all capitals. You see the capitals, and he signed his name.
In cursive.
Right now, this is remember when Jesus died, Pilate gave him a sign in 3 different languages.
Okay,
On top,
explain it. I'm not familiar with that story. Can you
yeah. Let me see. I want to find the verse. Let me see. Pilate, yeah.
Oh, that's slick. Yeah, I want to hear about that. This is something I'm not aware of. So yeah, this is slick because I see where you're going with it, but I want
Now,
to
I want to show you. Let me see.
and it's so funny with Pontius Pilate, and in the Bible try to make you feel sympathetic towards Pontius Pilate. You find, it's like the way they write Pontius Pilate's character. They want you to have sympathy for him, and just making it seem like he was just doing what he had to do. So it's funny. That's very interesting. Let me read.
Here we go, right here. John 19:20. The place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and the sign was written. Sign was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek, so that many people could read it.
Right. And on our money, we got three
Now,
languages.
now look at this. There's 3 languages on here because also the computer read it. So
Mhm.
you got the computer, you got French, and you got Arabic. 3 languages. What's the difference?
That's pretty slick. I didn't know that, but that's very slick. Man, we are toast.
What's the difference? It's already here. So when people say Jesus don't exist, they don't exist. You can't. If I say you exist and someone said they exist in English, I know they already lost because nothing is depicted in that language. It's depicted what I'm showing you right now. And this is the diet of the people. This
Right,
is their diet right here. It's a combination right here.
right,
There's 3 or more different languages on this. Just like Pilate did to Jesus, he doing it to everybody else. Same thing, nothing didn't change. But people not reading the language correctly. That's why I keep saying that. And there's no English on the driver's license or birth certificate. Now I want to show you. So I just try to help people. I guess hear so they can see and hear because I believe that they can't see or hear. So let me see.
So you said what we're doing is described as orism, right? How do you say we're doing what we're doing?
Say that again.
I believe you had mentioned before that what we're actually doing isn't talking. It's called orism.
Oh yes, orism. Yes, oh yeah. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna go to that next right here. Now I'm gonna show you this one right here. This is international deafness symbol. You see the ear cut off. Remember when Jesus was in the garden and I think I don't know, Peter cut the guard
Right.
ear off
Right.
here, and Jesus came and healed it. So I'm just trying to heal everybody's ear so they can actually hear what's actually going on.
Right.
It's the same symbol.
Same symbol.
And this international. Anybody know anything about international law? Nothing is above international law. It speaks anything with a color is also a sign.
Can you enlarge your screen a little bit?
What'd you say, zoom in?
Yeah, zoom in. That's better.
There's that symbol for deafness. Because they cut your ear on internationally. What people are hearing, they're not actually hearing what they think they're hearing. It's hard to explain. So what I could do, I could just show you, like, this is depicted in English, this is formatted properly or not. But beyond that part, everything I speak or show you is going to be kind of difficult because it's not something you can speak or write. You know, so when people engage in conversations, all that speaking is not like it's pointless. Because if you ain't speaking about language, you ain't learning nothing. If you ain't learning about the symbols, what the words means, like how I showed you earlier, display from the Department of Defense, you're gonna interpret everything incorrectly, and they just playing the people. Just playing the people. Now, I want to show you this. Or check this out. All right, let me see something. What's it called? This is very important.
Yeah, listen. Take your time, brother, because this it's hard to verbalize the mental trick that's been played, but how important it is.
I said Anglophones in history. The term Anglophone broadly refers to people who speak English. Now, I'm going to go to... Now I went to orators in history. And they look, King, Winston, John F. Abraham, Gandhi. So, if they speak in English, why they not identify as Anglophones? Look, orators, Anglophones, nobody. Not a goddamn soul, because it never was no English here. Now,
explain. So Anglophone
is someone who speaks English.
And they're not, so they don't have any examples. Basically, they're showing no examples of people who speak English. They're
exactly right.
People who were the great speakers, they call them orism.
They call them orators. Look. Orators are history, but I type in Anglophone, nobody damn pop up.
Right.
Now I'm gonna show you why. It's quite easy and simple. Because, like I always say, orism, the system of teaching black people to communicate by using of speech and lip reading rather than sign language.
So teaching deaf people.
Yeah, you're deaf. So when people say they hear him, they ain't hear shit. They think they heard what he was conveying. You ain't hearing it. It's hard to explain, but it don't work how people think it works.
Yeah, no, I know it's a sleazy, dirty trick that everyone has accepted it, and no one questions it, and it's part of our lexicon, and we don't realize that the things that are coming out of our mouths are not what we think they mean.
And linguistics, all linguistics is a lie. I'll go straight to grammar. Go straight to grammar. Linguistics is just be lying. Everything they speak, say, or do is lies. Go to the grammar. Learn the grammar.
Right.
They just lie. I could prove that right now. It's easy. Linguistics just lie. You want to learn the grammar of the language so you could properly read it for yourself. Linguistics lie about everything. They just lie.
Well, that's why so much confusion purposely done in the Bible.
Yeah. And people be
translations. They do translations and not grammar.
Yeah, but all they have to do is just address the language. Okay, this is how it's formatted. This mean this. That mean that. This picture is this. This is the language. They don't do that. They don't want to educate you. Well, this mean this. This mean no. It's just they're keeping. They're trying to keep you entertained at the same time by lying to you because they know the language doesn't says that, nor does it mean it. You know, it's you have to study the grammar of the language to comprehend the language. I always say if you can't write the language, you can't read the language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm looking at something in all caps, all I'm doing is just guessing. I can't tell you what that is, but if I tell you what that is, then what you're going to do is believe it. Then you're going to mimic me, and that's what they call aping. You aping after me. So when people watching basketball, like, oh, Michael Jordan scored a point, you're like, hold up, what are you reading? Where? What are you reading?
Right.
That people ape after them. So yeah, it's Planet of the Apes. Like what Darwin theory was saying, where people keep looking with their eyes, is mental. When he's talking about the monkey, you came from apes, yeah, that's true. Because you aping after it's mental. It's not physical. It's not something you can see with your eyes. It don't work like that. You'll never see the truth with your eyes. You'll never hear the truth with your ears. Because they language don't work. They work in radio silence.
Explain that further.
When you okay, you see how Superman in that video he says the sign for hope.
Right.
There's nothing to say. She said down here is the S. Then she go on and say, oh, what about Superman? She gave him the name and she's saying that you can speak it. You can't speak it. So she already misled everybody. So when he walk around, he look at signs and symbols, just like the leaders.
Right.
The Pope, all your leaders do this. They just misleading everybody. That's why people keep walking around with big ass letters and no punctuation. It don't mean nothing. It's just all you doing is just declaring that you did and they're functional.
Right.
When you look at the Vatican, all they do is read signs. Talk about you read a sign, I read a sign. Well, we're gonna have two different interpretations, not unless we're like connected to one another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like only you or I know. Nobody else can say nothing about the signs. So, and the thing is about the signs, how can you prove it? You can't. When they talk about filing paperwork at Trump, that's a god. I know it was a lie. I said, yo, they just keep fucking lying. Got people. They found papers. They don't even write like that. It's right. All a decoy. Like what the fuck? I said, yo, these motherfuckers like, yeah, found papers say that. They don't even write.
Right.
Like, come on, man. I said, yo, these people would never understand, man. They don't write like that, but they want to get that false perception, like something is written down. They don't even write. It's signed. Now we can look at the format and decode it, but you're not going to just read it off in English. That got me believing that. Like, come on.
Right. It's the simplest thing, but it's the hardest thing to explain. It's that water pool of our eyes was done so it was done so slick that it's so simply that it's hard to explain that, hey, what we're saying does not mean what we're saying.
Like you could mean it in your heart, but I could convey something to you, like what I really believe what it is, but is it true? From what I'm reading, probably not. Because
so is that why? That's probably why the those priests take that vow of silence where they don't talk.
That's right. And when you hear them talking, they're not actually talking. Like I could talk to you right now. Right now I could be talking to you or on television talking, but actually I'm conveying the message to somebody else. But it seems like I'm talking to the public. They never talk to the public. That's why I keep showing you the language. If they tell you this, look, check this out. If I'm giving you something in all caps, and I tell you it's English, you will never find out what it actually means because you decipher it in English. So by me keep feeding you and telling you that it's English, how you gonna find the true meaning of it? You're not. You're gonna be forever lost. That's why they do it. You would never even seek it out or look for it because you don't know no better and nobody else don't know no better. But once you find out the language, you'll look at it like, yo, is this the language? Such and such. Like, why nobody never said this? Why no one never mentioned this? Did everything start being revealed to you? Like, why everybody learning about language? Like, what's going on?
Right. No, it's seductive because we've all accepted it, and that's and I don't know if people understand how powerful that is that we've accepted this. And so, how would you suggest that we communicate with one another?
Signs, learn signs. They communicate in signs, and they light years above us. Light years. Black people never even got started because they believed that they were speaking English. Light years. No, I'm serious. Like, so
Yeah.
signs. That's it. Signs. That's it. Like, if you ain't using signs, because it's been signs since the beginning, but nobody never told nobody.
Right. So that's the reason why the oldest tribes in the world, their traditions are oral tradition. They didn't write it down. They use signs and pass it down orally. Is that why?
Right. By mouth. By
Mhm.
mouth. And orally, it's just like when I'm speaking to you right now. It's not formatted or anything. So I know it's oral. Like, I know now and I understand now. Just like when I just showed you. I put Anglophones in history, they said none. But orators, they had a whole list. Everybody.
Right.
But you ask the common man, they're gonna say that they speak English. But
Right.
I'm trying to prove to you that there is a none. Like, it's just
We're not. We're speaking gibberish.
exactly, and that make you belligerent. That's why when you see the war flags, because you're belligerent. The people belligerent and they just don't know it. If you look, they made you belligerent. If you go to the supermarket and you look at the signs, just look at the language. What does it say? It says nothing. You're belligerent. Your language say you belligerent. You don't got to say nothing, never in your life. That's why when people say, he a nice kid, such and such, he ain't do nothing, they shot him, because it's signs. It's not. They don't understand. Like, they talking, but it's just part of the game plan. You have to learn the language.
So what about actual sign language then?
Their sign language, they own it. That's the thing. They want you to use theirs. They
Gotcha.
can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't support their stuff. Like, because they created it and they want you to use it and saying that's what they mean. But they use a whole different code of signs. You know what I'm saying? So they teach you, but they teaching you wrong because you would never understand like what they convey. You wouldn't know what they know. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the English. Look, they using it. They telling you it's language English, but it's not. Why? Because they don't want you to know. But once you start realizing, everybody start realizing the language, everything will be peaceful and they understand how to operate mentally. It's not physical, it's all mental. Just like when I show you about commerce and the job, like the women, when they go to work, they're already engaged in sexual activity. So why is she sleeping with someone physical? Why would I fight? She already engaged in it. That's why when Christ keeps talking about the spirit, like you got to look at everything spiritual, then you understand and comprehend everything. Like the kids already engaged in commerce, and I prove commerce is sex. People won't believe. They don't. They just don't want to see it.
So okay, so we know the commerce is sex. So how does one start interpreting things spiritually versus
Oh,
the eyes?
I'm glad you said that. I gotta definitely go through that. I'm glad you said that. First, you see the sign up here where it say Laura's Lean Beef?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, Laura's Lean Beef. All right, you see it's in all caps, right?
Right.
Okay, the only reason I'm showing that is because I want to show you the joke that's being played on everybody. Now you see this irony.
Right.
The expression of one's meanings by using language that normally sounds the opposite, typically for humorous and empathetic effect. Sarcasm, they're making fun of you. It sounds the opposite. Look, it says sounds the opposite. You see it, right?
Yep, I see it.
Now, if it sounds the opposite,
that means that's not lean beef. That's probably people.
Thank you. That's why I keep saying it. It's human meat. Come on, man. It's like, yo, come on.
Yeah.
They telling you. They laughing at you. 24. All they do is make fun of black people all day. You can't I don't know. People just can't read the signs. That's all I can say. It's just the language. They telling you that's not beef. It's the irony. It's sarcasm. Look
Right.
at it.
Yeah.
That's not. So when you say it's English, you already been fooled. That's why when they said black people, yeah, they absolutely right. The black people don't understand it because nobody can read. Nobody can interpret the language.
Right. So it's a big joke. It's a big joke. I get it. It's like in the '60s they gave a bunch of Africans smallpox and said they was bringing aid to Africa, and they actually gave them AIDS. You know, it's that irony. They give them, it's that irony. So I get it. So they're telling us the way they formatted it, letting us know that it's not what it is. It's the opposite.
Look, a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberate, contrary to one expects, and is often amusing as a result. So they always been laughing at you since the beginning of time. It never was no movement. Why? Because the people can't read.
They can't read. I'm hoping people understand this and can. I'm hoping they get in and understand the how deep this is and understand how layered this is, because this the language the language the language the language is what's keeping us in this. Listen, I know this is hell, and it's a spiritual ascension that we're supposed to be going for. I want out of this shit, and I've been doing everything that I can. I just been working really hard to get out of hell, and my actions won't allow me to get out of hell because I can't read, and the things that I've read don't mean what they mean. What I thought they mean. The things that I'm saying right now that we are understanding from one another do not mean what you think they mean. I'm lying right now. I'm speaking to you and I'm lying based on a lie that was told to me. But it's the language. And it sounds like we all should stop talking.
I agree. It goes so deep. I just shake my head like, God damn. I can't even explain this to nobody or anyone. I don't even know how to, because somebody told them they got degrees in English and they great grandmothers speak perfect English, and it's like, look at that stop sign. Is that stop sign in English?
No, it's hard to articulate. It's such a simple concept, but to try to articulate it is tricky, especially having to articulate what we're trying to say using the words that they gave us to use.
Now, this right here is the definition for sentence, and this is very, very important. Very, very important. This is how you could tell if someone ever read before. Now, sentence. I'm going to the origin because this is what I really want to explain. Middle English in the census, way of thinking, opinion, course, declaration of punishment, and guess. The reason why, look, in the census, you use your senses when when I read, I want to see how it look. Like look, touch, smell, feel, and hear. So every time I read, I apply them and more. Because I'm looking at it like, why is it screaming? Like, why is this in all caps? Why is it like I can hear it? Like it's sad. It's dead. It's a fight. Like, where's the breath? See, touch, hear, feel, and it leave a bad taste with me. You see what I'm saying? So when you read, you apply your senses because you're living. You're not no robot. They killed everybody. You use your senses when you read anything and everything. Any questions on that?
No, I'm trying. Um, I'm uh, um. How people people who are
Let's.
listening.
Let me see something. Let me see.
So tell me when you're reading the book. So you're reading the book. As you're reading it, you're visualizing what the object feels like. What?
Now,
Okay.
this is the McDonald's logo, right?
Okay.
All right. I'll say, what is it? Is it an M? No, it's not no M. What they call it? A double R.
Right. The gold.
Okay. Then they got McDonald's. And I don't see no A in there. It's not English. So this right here is belligerent. How it sound? It sound belligerent.
Mm.
This right here leave a bad taste in my mouth.
What do you mean bad taste in my mouth?
You know, ever say like, "Yo, man, like this is just it's like a bad sense." You know what I mean? Like something not right.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at it, it's only one word, and it's a symbol above it. What it say? I don't know what it say. It's not if my English language, if my language is English, this is not depicting in English. So I'm skeptical. It's a storm. Like I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know how to decipher this. So you see, touch, hear, feel. It give me a bad feeling also, and taste, and it leave a bad taste, and it's above. You see how it's flying,
Yeah.
like it's floating in the air. See,
Yeah.
when people talking about UFOs, they're not talking about what they think they're talking about. They're talking about flags and signs. This McDonald fly right here is a damn UFO. Nobody can tell you what this is. Tell somebody what language this is.
Right.
They don't. It's not English. You can't read that language. You can't speak that language. You see, it's white. It's brown.
It's brown. It's brown.
So every time you, and this goes for anything you read, you use your senses.
So what about Braille? What about Braille?
Yeah, brown is that is brown. If you when you look at these things, close your eyes and you touch it, and you could touch it mentally. You see what I'm saying? So you'll know how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say if you blind and you feel the McDonald's sign, you're gonna say it's an M.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now you do that with everything that you feel. Then also you can hear the sound of it also. Let me this let me show you the yeah, let me show you the sounds. This is going to be this is very important. Now I don't even know where to start from. Okay, I'm gonna start right here. You see the page?
It's the artwork. You got some artwork up, right?
Now this is very important too. That's why people reading the hieroglyphs, I know they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They just lying.
They're definitely lying.
They lying. Now this is called a relief. Now this is very important. There are degrees of relief depending on the degree of projection of the sculpted from the field, or which the Italian and French terms are still sometimes used in English. Now look, the full range includes high relief. This is very important. Low relief, and you see the medium relief, right?
Right.
Then you see the sunken relief. Remember the sunken place?
Right.
This is what this is all talking about. It's in the artwork. Now, when you look at this right here, I could tell you how it sounds, because you see it's a high relief. It's coming out the background, and that's what the whole Rain movie was about. Remember how she was coming out the TV?
Right.
That's what this was about. It's a relief. She was in a low release and a base release. Then she came through the TV as a high relief. So when they building these statues and putting them in high relief, that's what they're saying. Now, when you look at this picture Hold up. Nah, what I need to do is you need to hear the sounds. Hold up. Nah, hold up 1 second. Let me see.
Go to comments. And there's a question. There's a comment in the questions. I'm trying to get to while you're looking for that.
Okay.
Okay. He asked you would you speak on the significance of the cross symbol and it was discussed in the Bible? And he also said apparently in the cult magic book has a big M on the cover. Source Scrub YouTube channel. Tamara Magdalene, Lioness of Yeshua. Oh, 1 billion people served. Okay, I get it. My brother Avatar is saying over 1 billion people served. And he's saying that like you're saying, the irony of it, like literally they're serving people. You know, we're being served other people is what it's actually saying. That's the joke.
Right. Hold on. I gotta play something in high relief.
Okay.
That's opera song. Because everything make a sound. Let me see. I'm trying to find a tune in high relief. Damn. Let me see.
Yeah, when they wasn't. Yeah.
I'm trying.
When you change that register, I don't want to hear it.
Hold on, I'm trying to find something in high relief. Well, basically, a high relief make a high pitched sound.
Okay.
Right now, I'm gonna show you the bass relief. Now, this is how we sound down here. Now, this is a port. I'll show you the bass release.
Now at Wawa, try a toasty, melty, delicious breakfast or lunch panini. Gotta have a Wawa.
Magical pieces to sing.
I think that is brilliant. Now, what do we call your voice?
Oh, my voice?
Yes. It is
It's actually called a basso profundo, which means deep, low bass.
Yeah, well, that
there
seems like that's accurate. So give us a really impressive low note here. Oh my gosh. Wow, you could do one of those like the...
You heard that?
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
Right.
It sounds like that Damien music, right?
Right.
Okay, when you look at the hieroglyphs, the ones in the bass in the bass release make that sound. That stop sign make that sound. Now,
okay. Wait a minute. The stop sign. Okay, how does the stop sign make that sound?
Because it's in a basso relief. Look at it. It's bass.
Well, I understand towards the artwork because I know I've decoded some pictures where I see that the positioning of the characters in a lot of the sculptures. I know some are singing high pitch and some are singing baritone and some are singing bass. But you said the stop sign. You talking about
how is depicted? How? Okay. All right. Make the stop signs. Just when you see the stops, just make a sound of the stop sign. Or matter of fact, just just make the sound of the stop sign. Just make it how it sound to you.
I don't know. I never.
No, look how all right. It's a scream, right?
Right. It's a scream. Right. It's a scream.
Okay. Now, is the scream a female scream? No, hold on. Let me show you this. You ever look at? Let me show you this.
Okay. Yeah. This is. Now you got me. Listen, this is a great activity.
Let me
stop sign sounds.
All right, hold on. Let me go through more. Maybe then you'll see what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You see this page, right?
Yep, I see it.
Okay. The page, the sunk relief. Now, what we're going to do is look for a sunk relief, the best relief. the sunken relief, like in the movie, what's that movie with the boy, the sunken place?
Oh,
Get Out.
Get Out.
Get Out. Okay, remember he the sunken, and what did he say? He ain't say nothing.
Right.
Like these people being loud, but what they saying? Nothing. You get what I'm saying? So they saying something and they not saying something at the same time. It's I know it sounds weird, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay. We want to get the sounds down. Now this right here, you see this coin is in the bas relief. You see it. Look at the language. That is a base. Okay, this right here, this coin is a bas relief, right?
Okay, so how do we know it's a bas relief?
Because right here, low relief or bas relief, you can look at it. Let me this right here is a bas relief. And remember the bas relief sound we just was listening to?
Right.
This making that sound. Let me show you. All right, that's the bas relief. Let me show you a high relief. That's bass. See the bass or low relief. Let me show you a high relief. Hold up. Where's the high relief at? I'm trying to show you a high relief. See, all these is low relief. This right here is a high relief. Yeah, right. You see this on the left?
Uh-huh.
Now it's singing like a high pitched sound of a woman, so everybody can hear it.
Because of the positioning of the character.
Because the way it's being exposed. Hold on. Let me try to. Hold up. Let me get my thoughts together. I'm trying to.
I have some.
Okay. Check this out. All right, hold up. All right, now I got a good one right here. Hold up. Yeah, I got a good one. I got a good one. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how to hear the stop sign. That's amazing.
Okay, now, you see this?
Which one? Okay, Foot Locker.
Okay. Look at the words, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay, it's protruding. It's sticking out, right?
Right.
Now, keep that same image. Hold up. I want to show you the guys and the sleeves right here. This is going to explain everything. Keep that same Foot Locker image. Now, do you see this? Do you see the graffiti?
Yep.
Okay, where is the graffiti at? On the wall, right? In the cracks.
Right.
It's in the sunken place. It's on the base. So that's the sound that it's making. When you look at the Foot Locker, it's making a high release sound. You see how it's protruding out from the background?
Right.
You feel me? So every time, just look at graffiti on the wall, right? And look at a corporation with, I don't know, Rite Aid or something. You know, if somebody write graffiti, it's on the base relief.
It looks like depth. It looks like it's depth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the sound that symbol is a base relief. That graffiti sound, right? But if you look at a shot right sound, a sign that's projecting, that's protruding, it make a high pitch sound like a female sound.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, do that make sense?
Yeah, I understand. It's kind of perspective. Like this graffiti looks like it's almost 3D. It's 2D, but it looks like it's got depth to it. Whereas the Foot Locker.
But it's on a base relief though. You see how it's in the cracks, it's on the ground. I mean, it's depicted, it's in the cracks, and it's on the base. You see what I'm saying? The other ones, if you look at the Foot Locker, hold on, let me bring up the Foot Locker. Hold on, bro. If you look at the Foot Locker, you can see how it's protruding out. It's sticking out. It's making a higher sound.
Gotcha.
So their sound, that's the sound of the God. Like their sound is higher than your sound. If you write graffiti on it, their sound is higher.
Gotcha. It's
so when people write, it's protruding, it's sticking out. Compare it. It's the depth. It's the image. That's the sound. I'm trying to find another sound that a sound that's sticking out. Let me see something. I'm trying to find a protruding symbol. Let me see. I'm trying. Let me see. Microsoft. I think Microsoft got a. No. Let me see. Damn. But I think you understand what I'm saying, though. I'm trying to find a.
Yeah, I didn't understand earlier, but now I see the lights. I was looking at the signs and not the lights. The lights are protruding out, and it's almost about yeah, I see what you're saying. Because when I look at artwork, when I look at the sculptures, I know that the artwork that's positioned in the front and higher, I know that they're emitting a soprano, and I know the ones that are in the background in a position lower are presenting the bass.
Now look, you see this sign right here? Let's say Harlem.
Right.
Now you see it's protruding right from up the base. Now if you write graffiti, it's gonna be on the base, basso in the sunken place.
Right. Hold on one second. I'm gonna hit you. Hold on 1 second. My kid's fighting. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry about that. My kids run me. Okay, so I'm looking at it. I see that the Harlem sign is protruding out, and it's almost like it's protruding out, and I see the graffiti goes back. I understand.
Yeah, if you write on it, it's gonna be on the sunken place. It's not. They're not gonna hear your voice, but they're gonna hear this voice. That's why. Let me show you something else. Now this is in Egypt. Now this is good. Now this is good.
Yeah, I can understand this.
Now, okay, you see how it's in the high relief, it's sticking out.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they kings and stuff.
Right.
Then they got somebody in a sunken place.
Yep, in the back. And
and that whoever that is, they're making the basso sound.
Right.
Point blank period. Like it's just no way around it.
That. Yeah, 100%.
Once it go basso, then it's coming back out into a high relief.
Right.
The sound is there. The sound is right there.
Right.
The sound is there. Like even with the hieroglyphs. Like let me see something. Hold on. I'm gonna show you something. Everything make a sound. Now look, check this out. Now you see how this is right. Now this is in the sunken place. All this making a basso sound.
Gotcha.
That's why I say they disrespect you so much, you just don't know it. People just don't comprehend the language. It's the language. That's basso. Now let's see if we can find something high relief. Now, right here, this still in the sunken relief. Whoever that is, I'm trying to find somebody in the high relief. Damn. Oh, that's basso.
You find them mostly in sculptures. That's why we got a bunch of sculptures.
But you notice the art is all in the sunken place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sound they make, that basso profundo sound. Everything make a sound. You can hear all the sounds. Now I'm trying to find hold on, let me see hieroglyphs and high relief. Let me see.
Mango. Okay. Hold on a second. Are you there, Shango?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. I was Ariel had stepped away. I didn't know how to bring you back on.
Did you show Drake the stuff Shango wanted to look at?
No.
I got it pulled up.
Can you pull it up? Shango got something for you to see, Drake, and I'm
okay. Cool.
1 second. Ariel's pulling it up.
All right.
Sorry. I've been dealing with a headache all day. All right, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, Shango, this is your thing, so I'm gonna let you kind of.
Oh no. I just wanted to kind of see what he thought of course, the language, the architecture, and if you click down a little bit, it says garments and robes. I wanted to see if you click the robes, if you click that, it'll have these different robes that these priests or different things use, and what he saw from it symbology, language wise.
That seems expensive and look like a douchebag.
These are some weird looking
The high priest.
models. Look at the.
So it's a different thing for each.
They look like wax figures.
The models may not be real, but I know for a fact because I've seen these garments before. So interestingly enough, there's a cartoon on Netflix called Castlevania.
Oh, I used to play that video game.
Exactly. So if you remember Catholic,
Yeah,
priest
that game was deep as shit. Yeah, that game was deep as shit, and it was low graphics. It was a Nintendo game. I remember that very well.
So if you remember the series, they actually had those priests wear they call it the cross of Leviathan. And if you know anything, well, if you've ever read Dr. Malachi York book, he talks about the spell Leviathan. But I know for a fact that these priests from different orders wear stuff just like that. So they all have all types of symbology and language, and I just wanted to see what he could see or break down, or if he even wanted to.
I'm trying to see if I can get closer up. Oh, here we go. There you go. What the heck is that? Can you see that?
5, 10, 13 stripes, cross, rising, the rising sun, the sun rising over the mountains. You see that all the time. You see that everywhere. The sun rising over the mountains. That goes back. This is just my interpretation about that sun, the sun that's rising. You notice when you watch the Roman movies how they got that mohawk with the red?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the helmet, right?
Yeah.
That's the sun rising over the mountains in the east. It's symbolic.
Gotcha. Like that with a helmet. I've seen
It's the sun rising over the mountains. That's right here. It's the sign for Lucifer.
What's the sign for Lucifer?
Right here. The light bringer.
You sharing it? You showing us, or is it on the picture?
No. The symbol that he's wearing.
Oh.
But I want to show you something about some priests, though. This is very important too. Let me see.
What's this? Can you see this?
Yeah, the sign on the chest. I believe that's the Lucifer sign.
But that ain't no sun this time.
No. It represents the woman anatomy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You see the cup.
Yeah.
And you see the V right there. Light bringer.
This is really.
Well, they've been demonized too.
A priest means clerk. A clerk is a priest.
Are you sharing something?
Let me see.
So that's fascinating.
Hold up.
Yes.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, I'm sharing something right now. I'm just showing the etymology of the word priest.
Okay.
So just like the county clerk or the clerk would go to the courthouse.
All clerks. No, all clerks. Your corner store clerks also. Who money are they handling? They're handling God's money, and God we trust. But it's the God of the dead. All clerks. Think about all the clerks that's around here. Everybody working in God's kingdom, right? Like you in the kingdom right now, if you know it or you don't know it. But
we did.
Yeah, the language. You got the God of the living, the God of the dead. That's why they write in that particular manner. That's what I'm saying. It's the way they write. Like what you call them people in court? Let me see.
The bailiff, the clerk.
Yeah. The bailiff, the clerk, clergy. Damn, what they call them? Clergyman.
The stenographer, the clerk.
But if you, this is how you could tell the priest. This is how you could tell the priest. Damn, what's that word? I forgot. Because all they, damn. You ever seen Conan the Barbarian?
Yep.
Okay, you see how Conan people dress, right? And you see Doom people how they dress.
You're talking about part 1 or part 2?
Part 1. I'm trying. Let me give you an image. Let me see. I'm trying to paint images here. Now, I'm trying to show you the image of Doom. You see that? Like his attire. It's priestly garments.
Right.
Look at him, like robe, expensive helmet, more expensive. Look, him on a horse.
Right.
And can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, finally. I'm off my phone. So with those garments or whatever, those magicians, they call them magus, which is a certain level. And like actually one of the garments in there, I think it's the one that says Leviathan. I've seen that in that cartoon that they had. And I know for a fact that the Catholic police have a room in the Vatican where all they do is have those people with those garments summon and do magic all day.
That's
right. Their only job.
That's right. Nothing but magic down here.
And it's funny you're talking about that with the Conan the Barbarian, because if you remember Conan the Barbarian, it was about the warriors and then the magicians. The magicians used to be doing all types of dark spells and sorcery for immortality, and summoning other entities for interdimensional knowledge or occult wisdom. And they do that in Doom the video game as well. If you've ever played Doom the video game, you end up having to fight those priests. It's also in the video game Ninja Gaiden. I think they call it the Order of the Alchemists. So they put they put it there that they do all the magic. It's very well up in the forefront. They don't hide it.
Now you look at Conan, it's a different attire, like ripped up clothes, sword, boots, straight dug in the rugging. You see that? You see Conan clothes is different from the priests. And it been like, if you ever watch a movie, look at the priests and look at the villain clothes. They're always like scampy and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like today, if you look at King Charles and all the rest of them. They all wear suits. That's their new priestly robe. And look how we dress. We don't dress in suits. We dress in what they call clown clothes, like tattered clothing, big clothing.
Jeans. No,
exactly.
You
Right.
Fox News, you got all the men wearing suits and the woman wearing fairly, tiny ass dress. So,
and think about how all women dress.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They the priestly class. We're like the
plebeians, we're the serfs.
Yeah, the serfs and the thugs. Because even Mayweather, you see how he could praise like Bill Gates and them, but he still wear chains and stuff, like a thug. You know, because he's still a barbarian in their eyes. They dress in suits. That's why you won't see none of them the players wear jerseys enough. They wear suits. That's the priestly guard. And so when I found the word for it, it'll help me a lot. So you can look at the clothes of what everybody wearing, and you already know what they are. In my opinion. Hold on. I'm looking for a word. And it always been like that. It always been like that. You just could look at their attire, and you will know who they belong to.
Oh, so it's like it's our modern day uniforms. You got the police officers, and so
that's right.
The police officers, security. That's the military branch. So what are their uniforms? What side are they from?
They still represent the priest, the priesthood.
Gotcha. So they're the knights.
They still in uniform, and that's another thing too. You notice how we keep going to uniform. Now think about it. Writing got a uniform also. Writing got a form also. Right. You would never call an eagle a bird. You would never call a rat a pigeon. You would never call a motorcycle a van. Why? The form. That's it. But everything's still the same, and I was looking for a word, but I lost it.
So let's do this. Let's get back together because this has been, oh wow, we've been doing this for 3 hours. Wow. I didn't even realize it. All right, we're gonna take a break because you got so much information and the kids are pulling at us now. 3 hours is too long to have to yourselves, parents. So so let's reconvene. We're gonna schedule another a part 2 to this so you can building. Let me try to go through these questions before we go. PBS Lover says, D, he's talking to you, Drake, would you speak on the significance of the cross symbol and was it discussed in the Bible?
Yes. It's a symbol that they want you to use. The cross symbol is, if you notice on the cross, Jesus had what? He had his hands now to the cross and his feet. His digits was on the cross. When you go outside, if you look at a store, if you look at the numbers, all that is just all digital. That's the digits on the cross. Look at any sign, that's digits. Right there on the cross.
When you say digits, you mean like fingers?
Yes. Just like, look at your time in digital, right? That's fingers you looking at. Your digital clock, that represents fingers. It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre out here. You actually looking at fingers. That digital clock represents fingers and toes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. see. Okay. Policy officer, do you understand? Whoa, man, no, but I comprehend your words. Melissa, it's a bass sound. Yes, mail to me. GameStop. What about this place, GameStop? What are your thoughts about GameStop, Drake?
GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's high. That's high. That's true.
Hold on, what they talking about? GameStop.
I guess
you're talking about the sign.
The sign, the GameStop sign.
Oh, the GameStop sign. Oh, you okay? They all the same. They all on high relief. That's owned by the corporation. It's on Priestley Home. They got a large voice. That's why it's projected the way it's projected. The sound is loud. Anything you see that's matter of fact, let me show you something. Hold on. I gotta show this. Let me show you the Rain movie. Hold on, man. Hold up. Let me show you. Now this is the Rain. Now when you see her coming out, she's in the bass relief. When she coming out, she making a larger impact, and her voice is loud. It's a high relief. Like when she came out the TV, she coming out the bass into the relief. If you notice that Martin Luther King statue down there, he's in the high release, but they put his foot in the bass relief. So that man's stuck. They kept him in it for a reason. But all signs, it all belong to the corporation. Everything. I mean, let me show you what I'm talking about. Martin King statue. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on. Come on. I'm trying to show you this real quick. Hold on. Yo, where that big white statue at? What is it called? What's the name of it? Damn.
Really?
Let me see. Dr. King. All right, I found it. Let me see if I can get the full. What I'm saying is, if you look at the statue, you know it's right here is a high relief, but they got his legs in base relief and sunken relief. Then they got some words on the side. They got them stuck in there. That's the purpose of it. If you look at it, that's the purpose of it. That's why they done it. His legs are stuck.
Okay. And let me see here. We got another question. Clerk has more sway in a courtroom than the judge.
And you notice basketball is played on the court. All that's for the Kings. All that's their entertainment. All that's for everything's for the Kings.
Yeah, tennis court, basketball court.
That's right. Kings Court. Yeah, it's all come from. Yeah.
So what is it when it's a rink? Like a hockey rink? What's a rink?
Let me see. I know I have to do with the King because the King always want to entertain me.
Do they have something to do with ice or something? Ice and fire?
Now look, check this out. You said rank a position in the hierarchy of the armed forces. Hockey rank.
Oh, it's ranking. It's a rank. Yeah.
That's right. But everything goes right back to the king. Like the king of English still run everything.
Okay, let's see here. Let me go through these. In words of Craig E. Comeback. And what's this? Protruding letters. I guess protruding letters are those raised letters that you were talking about, like the braille, the high relief.
Yeah, and the brow. You notice how Lady Justice, she blind, right? See, this is all represents the woman. Everybody mimicking the woman. The high relief comes from, when you pregnant, you skinny, right? Then when your stomach starts showing, it starts sticking out.
Yeah.
That's the whole brow. It's a sign.
Ah, okay. 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 All right, Drake, we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this. So after this is over, give Santana a call so we can reschedule another day so we can break this down some more, because I feel like we're at a good flow now.
We'll do a better job at asking questions.
Yeah.
Get the answers out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. I hope that you guys had your pen and paper. We're going to come back so we can do a part of continuation to this, because there's so much more information. And you guys, if y'all get some questions together, that would be great, so we can have it all ready when he comes back. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Shango, thank you for coming and dropping your knowledge. Drake, he just got knocked out again or something. I don't know what's going on. But
it's all good. Until the next time. See y'all.
All
Y'all
right,
have a good
you
one.
too, man. Can you dig it?